My wife wants to evict my daughter. I want to kick her out instead.
Get her out of here.
My daughter, Anna, is 16 years old. She was an accident when I was 24. Anna's mother and I were never together as a couple because it was a one-night stand, but we have maintained a friendly and healthy co-parenting relationship since she was born, and we became good friends. By the way, this comes from Tyler1620 on the Best of Positive Updates subreddit. Ooh, positive. Okay.
Love positive update.
My daughter has been living on another continent for a few years with her mother and stepfather, but she wants to come back because she doesn't feel comfortable there and misses her family and friends. Anna doesn't know their language well, and it's still hard for her to learn it fully, so she feels really lonely since it is different to speak your native language than make friends by speaking a foreign language from zero.
Absolutely. In fact, already hard enough. You're already getting, bullied eating your lunch in the the bathroom.
Yeah, imagine not being able to say anything back when they're like, oh, like, is your refrigerator running in, like, I don't know, whatever foreign language.
You're just like, nine.
Oh, well, actually, that would have worked well if it was.
That's
if
true.
It was Germany, a little less.
But
well
then
if
she
it was
wouldn't
like
get
Norway.
the other stuff they said.
Yeah. Although, you know what helps? This is totally not a prescription. Drinking alcohol helps speak any language very well, but this person's 16, so I can't really recommend that.
Can't condone it.
Can't recommend
at all.
that. Yeah. In like a couple of years, maybe.
Yeah.
I spoke with my daughter's mother, and we thought it was a good idea to let Anna live with me. Her room is now my home office, but I can easily put together a room for her again. We didn't confirm anything, talked to my wife about it first, and I was sure that she was going to be okay with that because we literally talked about that possibility before. On the agenda, it was there. It was in front of their faces.
Come on.
Problem is, my wife doesn't want that to happen.
Change your mind.
My wife and Anna, daughter, have never been close because they only meet in person for our wedding when I was able to pay a ticket for my daughter to come. That was the last time I saw my daughter in person too. Plane tickets are too expensive, but they do tend to talk a little when I make calls with Anna every day, but not too much. Anna is the daughter. She's 16.
Yes.
Again, Anna is the 16-year-old daughter.
Yep.
That is the product of a one-night stand. She's living in another country, but wants to come back and live with OP, which might be a little bit easier for her because she speaks OP's language a little more easily.
Don't need to eat lunch in the bathroom.
Don't need to eat lunch in the bathroom. Did you ever eat lunch in the bathroom?
No.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad. Yeah.
Did you?
Why do you say it like that?
Because you were like, I feel like if you hadn't, you would have been like, oh yeah, me too. We were able to make it out without that.
No, I don't think so. I think I ate lunch with the weirdest kids for sure.
That's way better than the bathroom.
It's way better than the bathroom.
You have friends.
Yeah. I had friends. I had the weirdest friends. Which
Let's go.
I think they were
great.
cool. Yeah, it was great. So Anna also talks to her brother, and he likes her a lot, even if they see each other on video call. My wife says Anna is not going to feel comfortable in a house with strangers. And OP's kind of just saying like, wait, this isn't a house with strangers. She's seen them at least on FaceTime.
She's like, stranger to me? Sorry, bro.
And I told her that we are literally her family, and she said no. She and our toddler are not Anna's family. So OP's significant other and toddler, because they barely know her in person. It honestly hurts me that she thinks that way, but I understand her point of view. Although our toddler is Anna's brother, and it really annoyed me that she said that because our little one really loves his sister, even if they just see each other online. So I feel like the biological mother is it's like she's okay with this co-parenting from afar relationship, but as soon as her daughter is thinking about getting close to OP, she's like, no, can't have that happen.
She was pulling a bluff.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I'll tell him, oh, I'm so about it to, get in the door. We'll have the kid and everything. And now she's like, oh, well, now that I'm here, now I can.
Yeah.
Whoop,
Exactly. Well, she has all the power. She literally was able to bring her daughter to another country and raise her, I think probably, like you said, under the pretense that they would both have equal say in her life. But I think she's kind of knows that she has power. She's like a dictator that gets power and says like, I'm going to give it back to the people. But then he feels the power and is like, oh, like
let me just keep it.
I kind of like being king.
Let me just keep it. And again, this is a conspiracy theory, but I do at this point think that she had this kind of plan all along, that she never really was okay with it. She just said it when it wasn't an imminent threat.
Exactly. Yeah, she's pulling some Emperor Palpatine games, dude.
Don't like it.
Don't like it. Don't like it one bit. Don't like it one bit. Yeah. Power, unlimited power. I just rewatched those films. Those cinema masterpieces are
movies
great.
I have seen.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So I had an argument with my wife about it, and I ended up telling her that my daughter will always come first because it's true. For me, my children will always come before any other person, and she knew very well about my daughter when we married. This is talking about OP's significant other.
Mm-hmm.
His wife. My wife got angry and said that bringing Anna home would change how we handle ourselves and that she doesn't want to be a stepmother. She said that Anna lived with her mother in another continent and it's not the same as having her right here every day. I told her that no one is asking her to be a stepmother because I will be the one who will take care of her always. My daughter used to stay many days and even months with me, and I was the one that took care of her. I'm not going to give my wife all the work because I was a single father for a long time, and I know how to take care of my daughter. I work, I clean, I cook, I take full care of her son when she works and wants to go out and do something just like she does with me. We both support each other in raising our son. I don't know why many people are so shocked by the fact that I take responsibility over my own child.
Unbelievable. Be a deadbeat.
But if she doesn't respect my daughter's presence in the house and hates it that much, then she has all the freedom to go to a hotel room.
Get out of here. Go check in.
I was a big because those words obviously ended up with us having a worse argument. So I guess OP said that directly, which is not the most, not the best.
What if he's like, hey, look, I just want you to have a 5-star spa experience. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Listen, you're stressed about my daughter moving in. Don't take a load off.
Also, Shanna Lawson says, I think birth mom is okay with it. And it's actually stepmom.
Yeah, the stepmom.
That's not going to be okay with it.
Yeah, she's the one that it seemed like pulled a little bait and switch where she was like, hey, it was fine at first, but now she's like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah,
right?
The problem is my wife doesn't want that to happen.
The stepmom.
I was thinking that it was OP's biological.
Right.
The daughter's biological mom.
Right.
So, TLDR for myself and everyone here. So, OP has a daughter, Anna, who lives in another continent. The biological mom is like, hey, I think she wants to come over to where you are because she's lonely, can't really speak the language as well. The daughter wants to come too. And OP's wife is like, nah, we have our own setup here. And it's kind of like, I don't want your daughter here. Okay. So, I think we're at 100%.
Boom.
Thank y'all. So, my daughter has every right to live in my house if she wants to, but my wife doesn't want that. I really love my wife, but my biggest focus is to give the best to my children, and I would love to have my princess here after years apart. I mean, who wouldn't want to be with their daughter after years apart? My wife has not been talking to me at all, and she's very angry, but she does continue with the same stance that she doesn't want Anna here at all. And I know I will get angry and we will end up arguing again because I'm not going to leave my daughter alone either. There's an edit before we get into these big updates. So edit. My wife always knew that Anna lived with me several days a week when she was still in the country because I talked with her about that and the possibility of Anna's family returning to the country if things went wrong. That would have meant that Anna would come back and live with me for many days or even months like she always did. My daughter used to come at my house every day too. My wife agreed that years ago when we talked about that, but now admits that she thought my daughter was going to stay out of the country with her mother because their business is going really well.
Boom. Called it. Called it.
Also, throwaway because my daughter uses Reddit too. I changed some data as to not make it too obvious. There is an edit too before we get into the update. So guys, I've been reading the comments nonstop for 2 hours and I have too much to think about. Thank you so much for the advice. Whether bad or good, this is helping me to reflect on several things that I did not take into account, but please don't be harsh because I'm a real person. There are relevant comments. There is an update.
There is
an update. But what it sounds like your wife hates your daughter, or at least doesn't want, she believes that she would be living this uncomplicated life where it's just our family and we don't have to think about anyone outside of it. And now that you've thrown in the daughter element, she's up in a huff. I don't think that's fair to OP. I don't think that's fair to Anna. And if you sign up to this relationship, like you knew what could happen. So I don't think I think like I see divorce in the future.
Yeah, it's also doubly crazy because they already have a toddler. So it's like it would almost make more logical sense if they had like no kids and she's like, oh, actually I want to stay child free. And I get that a teenager is different than like a 2-year-old, but
if she said that at the beginning of the relationship, they probably wouldn't have gotten into a relationship. But she never said like I want to stay child free, or like I only want to have children in my life that are ours.
Yeah.
Like she didn't say any of that. So like,
yeah, I think it is the worst case scenario here would be not that she dislikes children. She already has one with OP, but I think that she specifically either like dislikes Anna as a person or dislikes the fact that she's like the daughter he had with like another woman or something along those lines.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which like all of those are bad. And I think it is one of those because she admitted that she was like, oh, I just kind of assumed that she would end up staying there. Again, like I think she intentionally reeled him in to be able to, and just hoped that she wouldn't have to face this.
Yeah, I think it potentially was a reel in, but we're even looking at it through the most angel-like lens. What it could be is she was fine with it, but then she has this perfect little life that's like really great. And then all of a sudden this new factor comes in that she was not expecting. And she's like, how is this going to change our relationship dynamic? Is our son going to be prioritized if this new person's in the house? There's all these fears that's swirling up with now in a completely new familial dynamic. I still think she's the a-hole, to be clear. Sophia Callan, I want to agree with you there. I still think she's the a-hole, but I think there is a chance that this is just like a gut reaction of someone who is scared by how things might change. And if talked about long enough and if just introduced to like, hey, like you're going to have to deal with it and just introduced to it, I think she might adapt. But you also don't want your 16-year-old daughter to have to endure what a stepmother adaptation looks like.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to prioritize your kid.
Yes.
So whatever is going to be best for your kid. And I guess we'll see what OP does. But what would you recommend OP would do?
I think that he basically don't phrase it as an ultimatum, but it kind of is, where it's like, hey, we had this like understanding going into our marriage and life together that like, my kids are, number one priority, just like our son is to me, like
our son Riley.
Our little boy. So if you can't get like 1,000% on board with that, then I don't think this is going to work. You have to make it crystal clear.
Yeah. I mean, but do you think she's just going to stay because of she might stay for the relationship, but like maybe there's a negative effect on.
Yeah, I think she'll do the same thing. She'll be like, oh yeah, let's do it. Like, that sounds great. And then she's like, hey, listen up, you little freaking punk. You see, I'm the big mama around here. And you lock yourself in your little cupboard, under the stairs. Yeah. And you just be friends with the spiders.
Yep. Be friends with the spiders. I'll give you a little pan and a broom. You can sweep the chimneys. It's
going to be so fun.
Yeah, it's going to be so fun. You can dress me up. I've always wanted a butler.
Shut up. I hate you. Hate you, mama. Get out of here. That's what I think.
But we got some relevant comments.
Oh.
And we got an update. My little children, my little pretties. My little pretties. Let's get into these relevant comments. So, the discussion with his wife. We had it because she knows that my daughter used to stay in my home before she left. So this is relevant comments that OP is responding to, by the way. So OP says, we had the discussion because she knows that my daughter used to stay in my home before she left the country. My wife says that in her mind, my daughter was always going to live with her mother, to another commenter. She didn't say that when we got married. She said it now. When I told her about that possibility years ago, she said she thought she was okay with it. Now she admits that she thought Anna would stay there. And then another commenter says, if she doesn't change her mind, do you see the marriage lasting? And I feel like no, but OP says, to be honest, not at all. Even if I love my wife, my daughter no longer feels welcome in her school or comfortable. I don't want her to feel that way here too, in my own home. And a commenter says, what are you going to do about the child that you guys share? OP responds, my son would never be homeless.
Listen, 2 years old, that's time to go. Time to figure it out, son.
That's true. You've had 730 days.
Millions of seconds.
Yeah.
How do you not figure it out in millions of seconds? Come on. Get a grip, kid. Get a grip. Back in my day, or back in John's day, they were going to the coal mines by 2. That was me, dude.
That was John, dude. Ching, he went straight from the coal mines to Silicon Valley.
Yeah, that was
you basically were doing child labor.
Silicon Valley. I was mining the silicon,
and then you brought the chips to the people of the Bay,
and that's how we got here.
Yeah, that's how Qualcomm started.
Built it 100 years ago.
Yep. Shout out to John. Where's John is 300 in the chat? That's
there we go.
That's our daddy right there.
Let's go.
So Opie says, my son would never be homeless. Being okay with my wife would be an ideal plan. But if she continues to reject my daughter's presence when we break up, I'm going to make sure I pay her and our son a good place to stay and go 50-50 custody like I had with Anna, or make some kind of cohabitation agreement. Whenever I hear the word cohabitation, I always think of like Martians and aliens. It just feels very sciencey and rocket shippy. I'm going to do the same thing with my son that I did with my daughter, which was go see her every day and take care of her. I wouldn't fight with my wife or stress our son out with the grown-up stuff. And commenter says, not picking sides here, but if your wife leaves, so does your son. Everyone is screaming, put your child first. You may have your daughter full-time and your son 50-50. Doubt they would take a toddler away from a woman you say is a wonderful mother. I think the rock and the hard place is a lot harder than you think. So I think what this commenter is saying is, by prioritizing your daughter, you are deprioritizing your son.
Get one kid, lose the other.
Yeah.
right?
Well, basically, because it's like your wife is like, okay, I'm only going to be okay with this familial dynamic if you reject one of your children. And if he rejects one of his children, there is a better chance that his other child, his boy, has a better life with like maybe a more complete holistic familial dynamic or whatever, or at least like more. Yeah. The Duchess Cassandra says this commenter kind of sucks. Yes, it sucks, but there's an element to that
There's
is
a moral
true.
dilemma here.
There is an element to that where it's like there is like you're kind of picking between two things. I think the thing that makes it easier, and the commenter does not point this out, is like what is the actual right thing to do? What is in line with your morals and like your morality? And it would be to take care of your daughter, right? Because just because someone else's actions impact your child doesn't mean you should sway away from doing the right thing, because usually doing the right thing will lead to cascading benefits for everyone around you, including your children.
Plus, it seems like the better of the two options, because one option just kind of like completely abandons the daughter, Anna, so to speak, where it's like, okay, she has to stay in this place that she hates, versus like, okay, well, still, hey, Anna grew up with split custody her whole 16 years.
Yeah.
So this
and
baby
sounds great.
And it sounds great. So it's like, all right, the baby will kind of do the same. And OP's like, want to put everything in place. I'll split custody. I'll make sure they have a good place to stay. He's making sure that the baby has like the best possible life. So to me, seems like the best option.
Yeah, I agree that it is the best option, but I do think the commenter, although in a dickish way, points out like
there is a dilemma here.
This is difficult. This is not an easy decision by any means, because it comes with a lot of baggage or emotional baggage, even though intellectually we might be able to pontificate right here and say like, this is exactly what OP should do. But
I'll pontificate.
Yeah, dude, I love when you do that. I love when you do that, dude. When you just when I'm double cheeked up on a Sunday afternoon in a thick milk costume, like please squeeze those.
Move that onesie out of the way, dude. Get it out of here.
Get
Lift
straight
it up
to the udder.
Oh my.
So OP responds, yes, I've been thinking about that too. Co-parenting with Anna's mother has always been really easy because we've always been good friends and there was never a fight. But I don't want to think that if I divorce my wife or we break up because of this, I'll have a harder time seeing my son, or how the co-parenting would be with her. So yeah, I guess OP is saying like, yeah, it could be harder, but I don't want to think about it. Let it like co-parenting with the mother of my son, my current wife, you know?
Yeah. Good to think about it.
Good to think. Yeah.
Literally where you're headed.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, John's
Let me just ignore the future.
Idiot.
And just, oh, here we go. This is going to be successful, guys. Oh, it's going out so well.
Dude, man is throwing away the cane. These commenters are giving this man a cane, and it's like, shut up, dude.
Guys.
I don't want more information. I want to blindly walk through life.
Oh, this is fantastic. Stop it.
Yeah, dude.
Stop it.
You're going to walk yourself off a cliff.
Don't do it, Daddy. Don't do it.
Josephine Madolo Berquist says that those cow jokes are utterly ridiculous, yet very amusing.
All right, double pun. Nice. All right. I'll give it to you for a double pun.
All right.
I'll give it to you.
Josephine.
Here we go.
Okay, and commenter responds, unless there's something you aren't disclosing about Anna, your wife is of questionable character. I think that's very obvious. For not allowing your daughter to live with the family. She is part of the family whether your wife wants her to be or not. And OP responds, I swear there's nothing I hide about my daughter. She's a good girl and has never had problems with anyone. Even at the wedding, Anna and my wife got along. She was a child raised well by me as well as her mother and stepfather. And there is a downvoted commenter.
Ooh, wow, this is gonna be really bad then.
A downvoted commenter. And just to be clear, the guy that was like, you're between a rock and a hard place, that some of chat said was, I think they beautifully worded it, something like a massive.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
Was not downvoted. So this
gotta be bad.
Yeah, this is gonna be juice. There's gonna be juice to squeeze. So you've already chosen your daughter as more important than your wife and son. Your marriage is over. And I'm gonna repeat that again.
Yeah, please.
You've already chosen your daughter as more important than your wife and son. So basically this commenter is saying, OP, you are disregarding your son's well-being.
Bro clearly didn't read the whole thing when he's like, I'm gonna get the best, like have him a good living situation, 50-50 custody. Like he's already thought through this. Dude, this is ignorant.
Yeah, this is some ig-ish, bro. Ignorant shish.
That's correct.
Kimberly Fine says, what's the wife? The commenter. And Fräulein Fledermaus says, bruh.
That's honestly Kimberly Fine. Yeah, was that the wife?
Yeah, dude.
She found the Reddit account.
I mean,
It tracks.
things like this have happened. Stranger things.
Could be a crazy update we're about to see.
Stranger things. But we do have OP responding and says, you've commented on this stupidity twice and not only reflecting your own trauma, you are also taking things for granted that you have no idea about. You literally jump on a conclusion that I don't love my son just because I spoke well of my daughter. And we got an update 12 days later. But, if I was to give one piece of advice to OP,
Please.
is don't compromise. I think whenever you compromise your moral integrity for a short-term outcome, whether it be the benefit of one of your children or, money or status or whatever it might be, like even things like friendship, things that you think might be like a purely good thing, usually it has lagging negative effects. So it's might be good in the beginning and then terrible later. And I think this is an example of if you prioritize your son and looked over your wife's moral ambiguity, to say it lightly, you would probably have lagging indicators or lagging negative effects years or decades later. And so you don't want to stay with someone who has no scruples. You want the scruples to be high.
You want those scruples all the way up there.
You want you want at least 100 scruples.
When your hands are just on the scruples, you're like, dude,
yeah. When you have scruple, and then maybe you're milking each scruple.
Yep.
And then you're filling your cup with some scrupulous liquid. Dude. You drink it, you're full of scruples.
And then it's good.
Then it's good. That's some
good
some
marriage
scruple
juice
stuff
right there.
Good marriage juice. Jellybus says, honestly, life has lagging, aggravating effects.
Can't argue.
But usually if you live life in a moral way, less lagging negative effects.
Agreed.
I don't know why I'm talking like a science boy today, or I don't know.
Question.
Yeah.
I feel like it's your inner philosopher coming out. Yeah. In a beautiful way.
I had my Junto not too long ago.
There you go.
It was
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what that is.
I didn't tell you about that.
No.
I do monthly philosophical chats.
Aha.
With some of my
Yes.
philosophy friends.
It's all coming back.
Yeah, we actually had a great discussion about anyway.
Back to the story.
I had a great discussion about this next freaking update.
Whoa.
Let's go. D-Red says you need big scruple energy. Dude, big scruple energy feels like it could be put on a shirt.
Love it. BSE.
Big scruple energy. So update 1, 12 days later. Originally posted on the Am I the A-hole subreddit. So I'm sorry, but I decided to delete the post because a weirdo started to just spam my private messages with different accounts. And I don't know if I can put the account on private or something like that. I don't use this site too much, but a bot started sending me messages asking if I needed help. So I think my account could get banned because of that person doing this. I'm too old for this. Anyway, let's get into it. So first of all, I want to clarify that I am from a third world country. Here, it is really expensive to get a plane ticket. And if I travel, I must do it with my wife and our son too. So it was too much money that we can not pay. So basically, it's too much money to travel out of his third world country.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're called developing nations these days, but I'll use the old term.
There we go.
Third world. I let my daughter's mother take her to another country because, like every father, I wanted her to have a better life and better opportunities. I don't think that makes me a bad father, but I guess the minds that have always lived in privilege don't understand. The last time I could afford some tickets was for my daughter to come to the wedding. Not all of us have the privilege of paying for a plane flight. I've been thinking a lot, and in fact, I'm the a-hole because of the way I treated my wife.
Do tell.
Whoa. I did not see that coming.
Neither did I.
I did not see that coming. I was feeling we were going, we were focusing on the scruples.
Yep.
We were focused on the scruples.
Lost it.
I feel like
lose grip.
I feel like the scruples have been thrown out the window with that sentence.
Slipped through my fingers. But hey, let's hear him out.
That's true.
See what he got to say.
That's true. Okay. Maybe we can dig through the sand, pick up those scruples, squeeze it out,
Squeeze them.
Even if most of the commenters agreed with me, I don't think it was ever right to say that to the woman I love, even though I was angry.
That's fair.
Fair. All right.
Bad wording.
Because he originally said, for everyone who's just joining, if you don't like this, go to a freaking hotel room, right?
Wrong way to say it.
Maybe he's just like, hey, this is where my scruples slip through my fingers, but I still got most of them. Most of my scruples are there.
Lying in the scruple sand.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, there's a few droplets in the scruple sand, but most of it's in my hand.
Most of it's there.
In my scruple hand.
Yep.
But your scruples fell into the scruple sand and there's none in your hand.
Now
right? So I think we're about to talk to her scruples.
There we go.
In a little bit. So I apologized to her for what I said and the way I said it. But I told her that I don't like it when she ignores me and gives me the cold shoulder when I try to talk about our issues. And the fact that she denied the familiarity between our son and daughter was just cruel. All right? Speaking your truth, love it, OP.
It's true.
She apologized for it and said she was angry and said things she regretted. I made it clear to her that Anna is coming because no one can forbid any of my children to live with me. Not only morally, but legally, I am totally obligated to give my daughter and son a house.
Great.
Go off.
That's
Dude.
All I heard was good things.
Off.
All I heard was great things.
You know what I heard?
Hmm.
I heard the pouring and just absolute mound building of scruples.
Just so many
pouring
scruples.
into his hand. His hand is overflowing with scruples.
It's clear as day.
It's clear as
Bright
day.
as rain.
It's
pouring down.
It's scruples as high as the Pyramid of Giza.
That's right.
Yeah, those scruples, legendary.
Legendary.
So if he says, how many times can Sam say scruples?
That's what I'm
in the
asking myself,
last
actually.
3 minutes. I want a scruple counter in the Discord right now.
Run it up.
If you haven't joined the Discord, it's discord.gg/okstorytime.
Just hit 4K members.
Oh,
LFG.
sheesh. Let's go.
LFG.
Let's go. Pop.
Boom.
Boom. So she tried to argue, but I asked her how she would feel if we divorced and my new girlfriend refuses to let our son live with me just because she did not sign up for it. Doing a little twisty-roo. I asked her if she would appreciate a man who abandons his children for a woman more than a man who cares about his children. Yeah, that feels good.
Let's see it.
What
you got to say?
Yeah, dude. Maybe he has so many scruples that he's like spitting it into her hand.
Dude.
He's just speaking scruples.
We need more scruples.
We need more scruples.
There's truly not
we
enough.
need more scruples in this
so
world. Yeah, in a world full of little scruples.
We need big ones.
We need big ones.
We need big ones.
Big hawking scruples.
Sam 2024.
Just scruples dragging behind.
Drag them.
You know, you're walking in the sand and you just got two large scruples.
Prints.
Making
trails.
Just prints. Yeah, exactly. That's
all you need.
It's like, oh my god, like I can't believe there's this snake that's been slithering behind this very what's it called? Bow-legged man.
Nope.
But no, that's just two scruples.
Just the scruples
hanging between his legs.
Mm-hmm.
So also Peyton says, OMG, hi, John, I've missed your face too much. Thanks for the $2.
Appreciate you.
Peyton, we appreciate you. So if she would feel confident knowing that she is married to a man who abandons his children that easy. My wife said no. That obviously she knows how much I care about our children and hates the kind of man who abandons their kids, and that she knew she wanted to have a child with me because she saw how even though my daughter was so far away, I made video calls to her every day and we always help each other with things around the house. So then I asked her why she rejects the idea of my daughter being here, and she admitted being jealous of Anna.
Whack.
But at least truthful. Hey, we're
all right. I'll take progress.
We have been swimming away from lies and deceit.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a pool of scruples right now.
We were faced with a bald-faced lie. Now we're faced with a bald-faced truth.
Bald-faced truth.
I will take that. We can now we can talk.
Bald truth.
Now we can talk.
Now we can talk. Yeah, this is called dialogue, folks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think she's learning that she is she's learning she abandons her scruples.
Dude, it's tragic.
It's
so tragic.
But you know what?
What?
Don't call it a comeback story because I think she's. I don't know. Actually, maybe do call it a comeback story. I think the scruples might be. She's back.
She got coming in her back.
Grabbing those scruples. And I asked her. It's something that I have noticed in the past. For example, for one of my daughter's birthdays, I sent money to her mother to buy her a dress that was quite expensive. And my wife just said, I guess you will buy our son something just expensive. It was a mistake to let those comments pass, and I think they were just a weird joke. She said she doesn't want my daughter to come and take time away from our son. That bothered me, and I told her that if we had 2 children, my time would also be divided, and that as a father, I can give the same attention to both. And often, it's not good to shower a child with that much attention. Like they don't need your attention 24/7.
Especially a baby. What's a baby gonna do with a expensive dress?
Exactly.
Barf on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Crap on it.
Babies don't need attention or space. As we've talked about on the show, the baby cages of the 1930s. Just put a baby in a cage outside a window.
News
plenty of space.
To me.
You haven't heard about?
I've heard about
like you would love
giving
this
them blocks
incentive.
and stuff.
John, I hate babies.
I love
the
babies.
baby cages.
They're just ugly.
They're just ugly.
I never said I didn't like them.
Addie, if you have this ability, can you pull up the baby cages? You haven't seen this, right?
No.
Okay, can you pull up the 1930s baby cages of New York while I'm continuing reading this story? Appreciate you. So, changing our routine doesn't have to be a negative thing, and she knows that Anna is not a problem teenager, which I think some people in the chat were like, "Oh, like is Anna, a problem teenager, a bad kid, like addicted to dueling or whatever the kids are doing these days. Because she's gonna be a
so 2015,
dude. I know. I need
shows
to
you're
get,
so not Gen Z.
Yeah. What are the kids? What are the kids
dude
using these days?
Boofing?
Flumin? Are they? They're boofing. They're boofing their nicotine right now.
Could be.
Are they boofing? No way. They're
could
boofing.
be in, could be out. I don't know,
dude. I mean, I guess it is more or less conspicuous,
right?
To boof nicotine than to drink it. Yeah, I feel like
keep
you
it on the DL.
Yeah,
that's what the kids do.
Eddie, what do we got? We got some caged children. There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that seems like terrible parenting.
I don't know. Fresh air for children.
I mean,
no longer afraid of heights.
Just let them. Oh, so you're in a cage on the outside.
Yeah. Wait,
so you're
pull
right.
it up, Eddie.
Exposed to the elements.
Can you pull that up?
Just
pull up the caged children. Give me a little switch to the caged children, please, Eddie, please. The love of God. Can I see the caged
children? It's on the
children?
way. But yeah, you're just exposed to the elements. You're just like.
Yeah, I feel like that's like solid air.
Solid air.
Live life, breathe air.
Walking around, can't do that.
Somehow, I'm gonna get there.
Yeah.
And yep, there we go. Those are free babies. Those are some free looking babies.
Outside the window is crazy. What if that thing falls?
I mean, babies are like cats, right? They land on their feet.
If you say so.
Anyway, don't put your children in cages. And that's a PSA from
there we go.
Sam and John.
There he is. There he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Pisces 420 says, LMAO, why is this the second stream? Sam has asked for the baby cages to be looked at. I just think it like
because he loves them.
I love him. I just feel like it was a interesting period of time.
I may think babies are ugly, but this man wants them caged. Do with that what you will.
No, I want them free to look over.
Free to feel the air.
Yeah, Kimberly Fine says raw dog in the atmosphere. That's what we love.
That's exactly what Riley would say.
Yeah.
Shout
out Riley.
Rest
in peace. So free range babies, says Falling Flaudermouse.
So
anyway, we talked a lot and I explained to her that I just want to make everything work for both of us. I apologize if I made her feel bad with the way I treated her. And I told her that I want to really hear what things are bothering her so we can understand each other better. We agreed to have better dialogue and communication about this kind of thing. My wife admitted that her jealousy is wrong, and feels embarrassed about it, but it's how she feels, and she feels awful for feeling like that. Good, feel bad.
True.
I mean, kind of true. You gotta grow up.
Yeah.
I told her that feeling isn't right. Being jealous of my daughter isn't right. And I told her that it would be okay to start going to a psychologist if we want to fix this, because I'm not going to leave my daughter to live in a place where she doesn't feel loved. My wife accepted after talking about it a lot these days, and she wants to work on herself about that because she doesn't want to feel like that about a little girl and knows it's wrong. Okay, that's good.
That is good.
I mean, this is progress.
I think the fact that she's, everyone. I mean,
everyone has
pretty
those
insanely
days.
egregious, but like, the fact that they're now being open and talking about it is very good. Now they can actually have like a honest open dialogue about it.
Yeah. Just like everyone has those days. Everyone makes mistakes.
Everybody does.
What I'm talking about.
What are you talking about?
This next part of the story. So
let's do it.
My wife and daughter always had a nice treatment. When I make video calls with Anna, my wife usually takes a little time, but not that much. I think my mistake was not offering my wife to make video calls alone with Anna like Anna does with my toddler sometimes to like create that one-on-one relationship. My daughter really likes my wife and calls her auntie, even if they don't know each other too well. So I don't want her to know how my wife really feels about her. I offered my wife to teach her how to play the same video game I play with my daughter so they can play together and get to know each other more through that. And I know Anna would love that. That's a great idea.
Yeah. How can they bond? How can we bring them?
How can you do like something that you like together? Because it's like also, dude, calling like I can't imagine one of these Gen Alpha kids like calling me as a grandparent, or not Gen Alpha. There's going to be like whatever Gen
Neutron,
Beta, or whatever. Yeah, Gen Neutron. When I'm like old and grandfatherly, they're not gonna like call me. I'm gonna have to like play Fortnite with them, or like.
Well, you'll be able to like telepathically. You know what I mean?
They're like going like
the
metaverse or something. Yeah, and I'll be like, oh, like Grandpa, like tell me about the yachts of your day, and and I'll be doing it in virtual world.
Yachts will be in the graveyard.
Yeah, I know. I can barely understand what kind of language is going to be coming out in the next year.
You don't know your goons from your skibbities.
I don't know my goons from my skibbities. True.
And they say I'm not young.
Yeah, dude. He's got it.
I'm with you.
He's compensating. I mean, sorry, he's keeping up.
Watch it.
They both have a lot of the same interests. She accepted it and said she loves me and wants to try it for me and for our toddler. If I leave my wife, I would be breaking my son's house. He's my baby too, and the last thing I want is letting adult matters affect him. I don't want to do that, and I love this woman. I want this to work, and I'm going to do my part for it, but the first moment she treats my daughter badly, I will end things with her, and I clarified that to her, and she was right with it and promised me to work on this. I still haven't confirmed anything to Anna's mother about the date on which our daughter can come, since I need to fix the room for her first, and I want my wife and little girl to get to know each other better. Talking about it with my psychologist, he told me that the best thing is always to get them closer little by little before Anna comes to live here. Yeah, make Anna feel comfortable.
Smart.
The video game idea is great.
Yeah.
Great. I love that idea.
It's perfect.
This last 4 days, my wife and Anna have been talking longer, and I told Anna that we could teach my wife to play with us. Great idea. Also, I feel like we're seeing a lot of great signs of navigating this moment. Well, I mean,
quite a comeback.
I don't know if y'all caught this, but he said, I've been talking to a psychologist.
It's true.
And I think that is a sign, you're seeking outside help and
Seeking
making
out help.
sure you're navigating this with poise.
That's right.
Yep.
Poise and prestige.
Poise and prestige.
Double P's.
Double P's.
Some would say a PP.
Some would say a PP.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, dude. That was one of our fishbowl words yesterday. And let me just say, I would like to say our friend group is somewhat smart. Everyone laughed at PP. PP is a timeless comedic stronghold.
From kindergarten to the grave. PP
From kindergarten to the grave.
stays a comedic stronghold.
PP will make me giggle, internally at least, as long as I live. And if you're sitting there and be like, oh my God, these guys are so immature. These, like, I can't believe they're lasting at PP. I've elevated beyond that. Like, when did your soul die?
Yeah, truly.
When did you leave Neverland? When did you leave the Lost Boys?
How is it burying your inner child?
How is it letting your Peter Pan sink beneath the 7 layers of hell? How about you get a little bit of that back and let PP bring a smile to your face.
Come on.
Yep.
Be a human.
Be here, be now, be with the PP. Anyway, Anna really feels comfortable talking with my wife, and they started talking about random things, which I feel like outside of, because I don't understand about the things they talk about. But I'm pretty glad to see that they actually have things to talk about. That's great. I suppose a lot of people are going to call me an not divorcing my wife, because that was what most of the comments told me. But it's not all that simple as, yeah, we argued, so let's get divorced and have 50-50 custody. I think I feel like Reddit's go-to advice is divorce.
Divorce.
And hey, you know what? We love a divorce chant.
We love a divorce chant.
I'm down to pick up a sign and scream divorce just as much as the next guy.
But you know what else we love, Sam?
What?
Healthy communication, getting to the root of the real issue.
That we do. I want to pick up that sign. I want to pick up the divorce sign first, but I hold a little restraint, and I think about it. I sit with my feelings, and I go to the other sign, which says, let's communicate.
Yes.
And I hold that one first. And then, no one's listening to that sign. Bam. I'm straight to the divorce. Yeah. I like a good time just as much as the next guy. Trust me. We're we like to say pee pee poo poo. We're no
stooges,
strongholds of scruples.
That's right. That's right. Got to bring that back.
Yeah, we got to bring that
enough
back.
earlier, guys.
No. We have them. We have
more
them.
Times.
But we won't let a little pee pee poo poo divorce chance ebb into there.
Absolutely
every once in a while, because
of course,
such is life.
Such is life.
You got to live a little bit.
That's right.
I personally think it's better for us to have spoken up like mature people instead of just getting divorced. What a novel concept.
Lame.
Yeah, dude. Come on. Live a little. Seeing that my wife has opened up to me and is trying to work things out, I prefer to give this a second chance and hope that she can see my daughter as her friend and even as her family if she allows it to herself. Your wife is going to treat your daughter badly. That's in quotes, by the way, for audio listeners. No one can read the future to say that, but I can work to make that future not happen. Freaking like the Terminator, like
nice.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Change
I will be back to save my daughter.
And my baby.
Where is Sarah Connor? I need to get my get to the chopper. Yeah, dude. I need to work on it.
I'm not even gonna try right now.
Dude, well, I feel like you're gonna
strain
your see, yeah, dude. I mean,
I'm keeping it. Yeah, guys. I have
keeping
to
it dialed back. This is the chill stream. John has all the accents. I need to work on it.
We'll get you there.
Just imagine a perfect Arnold Schwarzenegger commentary. That's what I'm doing right now.
That was great.
Like,
dude.
I know. I don't know where that came from. Like, it's just like I just really feel like I channeled something.
It was beautiful. beautiful, honestly. Emmy,
I'm
EGOT.
blushing a little bit.
EGOT.
I'm blushing a little bit. You know, you shower me in too many compliments.
You deserve
the
more.
only thing I want to be showered more in compliments is scruples.
Oh,
but,
dude.
You know, like, hey, we
Of
can leave that
course.
for later.
Yeah.
I prefer to maintain a positive approach since my wife has never behaved badly with my daughter, and my daughter knows that if she feels uncomfortable, she knows she can talk about it with her mom, stepdad, or me, as we always teach her to talk to us about anything that makes her uncomfortable. Anna has a sharp tongue, so I doubt she'll stay quiet if my wife makes any comments that make her uncomfortable. Let's go.
Woo.
Yeah, I feel like that's important.
Important.
I'm not going to force them to be friends. I want them both to flow on their own. I'm also not going to use my daughter as a free babysitter. We don't want children parenting children.
I'll take it.
What's that called? There's a word. A nice
Child
little-
labor? That one?
I know you'll take child labor, John. John's been working in the mines again
You know?
since 2 years old.
Oh, I came up.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason he's coughing. He's got the black lung. It's
Exactly,
finally
dude.
catching up with him.
Sorry, I was the canary in the coal
He
mine.
was the canary. He
They
was
just used
screaming
me,
at the top of his
a
lungs.
young boy.
Yeah, a young, fresh boy. He screamed at the top of his little lungs a couple times. And now he's paying the price for it today. Hey, but you know what? He's got a back that just won't quit. It's not easy being in the coal mines. There's a lot of back breaking work, but it didn't break his back.
Threw
you
my
know?
back into
It
it.
was the lungs.
What
It was
can
the
I say?
lungs that really went out first. The back's strong. It's like corded back. Honestly, like Arnold. I think that's why John can hit the Arnold so well.
True.
If it wasn't for his lungs. Yeah.
How did we get here?
As many in the comments suggested as a supposed solution. Parentification, Kim Kwan. I appreciate you guys.
There we go.
Both she and her brother can live in this house as long as they want. Edit. On the previous post, several people said that my wife also made a post here, but it's false. She doesn't use this site. Freaking Reddit trying to pull the wool over our eyes.
Interesting.
We won't let you.
Not today.
Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Pan Am today, Pan Am tomorrow, Pan Am forever. Sophia and I always do that whenever that comes up because of Hunger Games. Sorry, it's
Okay.
it's just
I remember now.
it's just brain rot word association. I feel like
Young adult brain rot.
yeah, dude, truly YA brain rot. But honestly, it's like the best kind of brain rot I would love
I'll
to
take
have.
it.
I feel like I grew up on YA brain rot.
Same.
Between like Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, the Olympians, and Hunger Games. Like
good
I'm
stuff.
just ready for my dystopian future where I
It's-
get some kind of superpowers.
It's
Still
dude,
waiting.
I'm ready for the dystopian future where Opie and his wife finally bring it together and
And we're about to see what happens in this edit. So
let's go.
okay, so we got some relevant comments.
Let's go.
We're going to dive in. Commenter says, if your wife doesn't get over her jealousy, though, you're going to have to make a choice. Because like a lot of this is hinged on, is this frickin' going to work? Hopefully, since she took ownership of how awful what she said/did was, she'll become better. We could hope. Fingers crossed. And OP responds, yes, I have made it clear to my wife that my decision will always be to protect my children from any person or situation. So if her jealousy returns, there will be no third chance. 3 strikes. Or I guess 2 strikes.
It's fair.
2 strikes and you're out.
That's a fair policy.
Harder baseball. Who's that guy that's really good at baseball? Like,
Babe Ruth.
yep, we'll stick with that.
Knock
yeah.
him out of the park.
Yeah, dude.
Barry
Only fit for
Bonds.
Barry Bonds.
He had his pure game. No
Pure game.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, no juice. No juice. Yeah,
0.
You know, I want him back. Reinstate
Right.
Barry Bonds.
Bring him back. Bring him
yeah,
back.
yeah. It was a ruckus. A racket.
No juice.
No juice.
No juice. Cheers to you, Big Barry.
Yeah, Big Barry. Shout out to him. Do you plan on leaving your daughter alone with your wife? I feel like that's kind of important to do, honestly, to see if it works. And if your daughter has as sharp as tongue as you say she does, then I feel like you'll get that feedback pretty quickly. But OP responds, for now, they have video calls with me. If my daughter wants to have video calls only with my wife, then they can have a video call alone. My daughter is smart and has a sharp tongue. If she feels uncomfortable with anything my wife does, she will tell me or her mother or stepfather about it. That's great. Commenter says, I meant when she comes to stay with you, would you feel comfortable with leaving your wife alone with your daughter? OP responds, if my wife continues to improve her behavior and continues to be open to having a close relationship with my daughter, yes, the ideal is that, as I said in the post. That is precisely the reason why they are making video calls together.
Addie, can you see us? We're in the dock.
Oh, also development. Since you last came on stream, Addie's name is actually Eddie.
Wow. That is game-changing information.
Is that
Eddie,
not-
my sincerest apologies. Wow. Took us long enough. My God. L's in the chat for me, guys.
No, dude, I was
For all of us, I guess.
for all of us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Put some respect on Eddie's name.
Yeah. I've been giving myself grace to say it the correct way because I'm definitely not at 100% Eddie yet.
I like it. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Shauna Lawson says, I know I'm a little behind, but I giggle at the word duty, and I'm 38, grew up in the Army dependent, and now I'm a Navy spouse. I hear the word, and I constantly giggle. Dude,
Congrats. You still have your inner child.
Yeah. And also, inner child to the max. I could not do the work you do in terms of Navy and Army stuff purely off of the word duty. Like I would not be able to get, I would not be able to get through that. I would be giggling too much.
There's duty everywhere.
There's duty everywhere. And, I wouldn't be able to do my push-ups.
Got to clean the poop deck.
Oh, dude, I'm done. I'm over. I'm keeled over.
Walk out right now.
Push me off the boat.
Get out of here.
Put me in the Mariana Trench. Yeah, swim to shore. Yeah, I'll try. I'll try my best. Walk the plank. Why don't they have planks anymore, dude? That was a fun time.
Yeah. Bring it back.
Bring it back. Bring back planks so that not only me, but also that they feel comfortable with each other when they live together. And commenter responds, just because she's doing okay video calls with your daughter and being nice to her doesn't mean she's going to do the same when your daughter's in the home, especially when she doesn't want her there. True, but you got to give a little bit of I feel like things are heading in the right direction.
Yeah, a lot of good work has been made.
A lot of good work. OP responds, and it doesn't mean she'll treat her badly either. Neither you nor I know the future, and we could assume all night about what will happen. I prefer to think of the best for all members of my family and trust that my wife wants to improve herself and others with professional help. Wife needs to know she can talk to you. If she's uncomfortable, this probably won't end well. That's a commenter. OP responds, my wife knows that she can talk to me about whatever she wants. As I said in the post, she has opened up to me about what she really thinks, and we've been having a sincere dialogue. All right. So from what it seems like, I feel like, we're heading in a pretty positive direction.
A lot of good work has been
done. A lot of great work, but I do understand that some of the comments feel skeptical of your wife's ability to change. She said she was jealous. She said she admitted to all of this stuff. So we now know that's true. And it's hard for people to change overnight. And also, you don't want to damage the self-esteem of a 16-year-old, right? Which a jealous stepmother could 100% easily do. But I do think we are setting ourselves up for success when taking into account the fact that we were initially not setting ourselves up for success and going straight into the orc cloud for this entire familial dynamic. But yeah, so I think we're coming back from the orc cloud, and I think we're maybe we're circling, we're orbiting Earth, but we're not in the atmosphere yet.
I must say, I'm very interested to see what the second update holds, because I think while they have done a lot of great work together, I wonder if it's too far. Like, hey, if you make it 90% up Mount Everest, amazing. But if you don't reach the summit, you don't reach the summit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like what you're saying is we're not looking for 90% completion on being not a stone cold B to your daughter. We're looking for 100%. We're looking top of Mount Everest. You see the line of people walking up. You see the trash and the frozen bodies up there. You are there.
Wow.
That is all true, by the way.
I believe it.
Mount Everest is not the place it was in the 20s. The Sherpas are just taking you up there and dropping you off and basically doing all the work. And
dang.
Yeah, it's like Disneyland for rich people that want to seem adventurous on their Tinders.
Disgusting.
That being said, I feel like it's still kind of cool.
That being said, Sam's going there next year.
Yeah, that means I actually have very little desire to go to Everest. But
Everest aside, I don't know if she can come back. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to see the second update.
Again, Kimberly Fine says cautious optimism is a better wording, I guess. Cautious optimism.
Fair enough.
But we need 100% completion on
That's
this.
true. Complete it. Complete me.
We got an update. I didn't really think about updating again, but I remembered that I have this account, so I said, why not? Since I have a little free time at the moment while I take care of my toddler. My daughter and my wife's relationship is going very well. Let's frickin' go. They both make video calls to watch some series together that they both like. They have even started to have inside jokes that I don't understand, but I think that's something good. Although, to be honest, now I feel a little left out. Just joking, by the way. My wife has been going to the psychologist, and me too. I want both of us to get better together, to work on her insecurities and problems, because she knows that feeling jealous of my daughter is not good at all. And a few weeks ago, she talked to my daughter about her feelings towards her and apologized. Whoa.
Big step. Hard thing to admit.
Big step.
Yeah.
Big step. Wow.
I will admit she might be changing my mind.
I feel like, you're not at the peak yet, but you've reached base camp.
We're getting
You
there.
got your Sherpa.
Heaving and hoeing.
You're heaving and hoeing. You're like, I'm done with Everest.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. No, I should never be done. Everest is still in the mind. Still in the brain. Don't you worry. It's cold up there. So my daughter was quite surprised to learn that my wife felt this way, but accepted the apology and told her that she understands her. I left them talking alone that day, so they have privacy. And after that, they have had a closer bond. My wife said that my daughter told her that she will always respect someone who is sincere and wants to be a better person, just like I'm going to respect someone who can join us live on YouTube and Facebook every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just freaking tap her profile. We're probably live right now.
Do it. Come on. Join in.
And we have a little bit of update right here, but I feel like we're getting we're getting to a good place right here.
Like mere minutes ago, I was like, "Hey, great work," but I don't think I don't believe you'll get there. I now believe she can get there.
Yeah.
Won me over.
Yeah. I mean, we're at least like halfway there.
Maybe, yeah. There's still work to go, but I believe that she has the coordinates. I see her, her ice picking abilities. Like, she's got the whole package.
She's got the whole package.
Oxygen levels looking great.
Looking great. I mean, it's not like 100%. So, like, although halfway there, you might still be living on a prayer, but I think they'll make it.
That's right.
Yeah, I swear.
I don't.
But there's another relevant update, and we'll get right into it. So in the previous post, many said that I decided to bring my daughter without talking about it with my wife before, but that's literally what I did. I never confirmed anything to the mother of my daughter until I spoke with my wife. I was never the partner of my daughter's mother, by the way. Many comments mentioned her as my ex-wife, but we were never anything. This is the one night stand of his older daughter.
Baby mama.
The talk about bringing my daughter back was paused because I wanted them to know each other better before all living together. But my wife started to talk about how she wants to decorate the bedroom and rejected all my ideas because they're too boring for a girl. So she's having fun redecorating the room with our toddler, who's really happy to see his sister in person. We still haven't arranged a date because my daughter's mother has to talk with her high school about the problems there and everything, and I have to prepare everything here too, but all is going well.
Let's go.
And edit, there actually is a second update, but we got some commenters before we get into that second update. But Kimberly Fine says, big step. I don't like being proven wrong, but always down to accept it. With stepmom, W stepmom for saying the gross parts of herself out loud. Daughter deserves to know that she can acknowledge it to her face. There's a great quote from like an old-timey lawyer with impressive mutton chops. And he said something like, light sanitizes all things, or like basically like when you put things into the light of truth, darkness and the cloudiness erodes.
Beautiful.
Something like that. Eddie, can you pull up that guy, lawyer guy, American, that said something about putting truth into the light, like sanitizes something? That might be a ChatGPT question. If you all know it, let me know.
Let us know,
I'm
chat.
trying to think about it. So, how can you live somewhere where you can see a psychologist, but airfare is expensive? This is a question from OP. Yeah, sunlight. Lala says sunlight. Here, the OP response. I received a notification. In my country, there is something called Obra Social, which gives me, my wife, and my kids free private health care, and therefore also we get a psychologist for free. WW. Flights are only $1,000 to Europe, which is still expensive, and you have the privilege of earning dollars and not having a totally devalued economy. I don't. Here, many people make less than $250 monthly. My daughter lives in another continent, not Europe. And OP has another update saying, I just wanted to have one last update before deleting my account.
Wow.
Kimberly Fine says Tony Busby. I think it might be that. Eddie, if you could find it, or if someone in chat could find it, I would love to hear that quote again. Before deleting the account, since I don't see the point of continuing to have it. My daughter has been living with us. Okay, so we're now with OP living with her daughter.
Wow.
Or we're now with OP living with his daughter, which means this is the true test.
The true test. I love it.
This is like going to the top of Mount Everest and seeing like, all right, can I take the wind?
Let's go. Can I breathe?
Can I breathe? Well, maybe a little oxygen, but like,
you can do it.
Let's see if you can do it.
Let's see if we can do it.
My daughter's been living with me for weeks now. My wife and she get along well. Her little brother adores her, and they can finally spend time together in person. He's really excited to have her home now. My wife has been working a lot on herself, and I have noticed how much she changed in a good way and how her relationship with my daughter is good. I noticed especially when we went to pick up my daughter at the airport, and my wife was very excited to see her. They've been watching movies together online for months. And I think, again, like this change could only happen because OP's wife said the bad parts, the ugly parts of herself out loud to the person that the ugly parts had feelings about.
Yep.
And again, I just want to give this quote by Tony Busby. Sunlight is the best disinfectant, and I am quite certain the sun is coming.
Damn.
Savage. Love it.
Whoever was doing it with the sun.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
Yeah. But this is an idea of like,
Sunlight everywhere.
once you shed truth on something, usually things get better.
I love it.
So she is no longer jealous of my daughter. And although it is a process that takes time, I know that she is making an effort. My daughter has not started school here, so she will have to wait until next year. Anyway, we decided to bring her now since in a few months the tickets will be much more expensive. It was my wife who told me that she has already felt ready to spend time with her in person. I was really happy to hear her say that. I didn't expect her to already feel ready to tell me that. My daughter lived in a country in Asia, and although it was really beautiful and a safe country, it was very difficult for her to adapt. And their bullying is something very serious, which much more towards her who had so much difficulty with the language. Sometimes she obviously misses her mom, but they text a lot. I try to spend as much time as I can with her so that she doesn't miss her mother and stepfather too much. I also take her to see relatives, and she has met my wife's family as well. But in general, I know that she feels happy here, and she has told me she misses her grandparents, uncles, and cousins. The whole family is very happy that she is back here. And my wife and I are doing great.
Yay.
And I've also worked on myself by going to therapy. Now we talk a lot whenever something bothers us or we have some discontent. This is great.
This is great.
This is great. I feel like this is exactly how a negative situation should be navigated. You know,
This is the playbook of
this
how
is the
to navigate
playbook.
that.
This is the playbook.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
this is the map the Sherpa has as he's walking you Mount Everest.
Dude, hike that.
I think the key is that we can communicate even if they are dark thoughts. I know that she is a good person, and like everyone, she has dark thoughts, but she is a good person because she works on improving herself, and I'm doing that too. I love her, and I know she's a good mother who wouldn't treat my daughter badly. I like to take care of our children, take care of them, clean, and cook for them, although I find it hard to understand that my daughter now does all of that by herself, and I don't have to do it, but she is still small in my eyes, just like her brother. Anyway, I'm sorry if it's a boring update and everyone expected me to divorce my wife, but things are like this. Luckily, we are starting to solve our problems. They now have a relationship of friends, and I like if they are happy like that. I'm going to just read OP's response. My wife is not a villain who is hiding her evil plan. I prefer to trust what I see and know. My daughter feels comfortable and happy around my wife, and my wife feels the same. My daughter is not paying for anything. She is happy and knows that if something bothers her, she can talk about it to her mother, stepfather, or me. People change. I'm sorry you've never experienced to see that change. And that is where that story ends.
Wow.
A very happy note and really, you know, a great blueprint for what change can look like. You know, this wife was not in our greatest graces. Initially,
Not at all.
no scruples
Negative.
low, scruples low.
0%.
Yeah, she was
Negative
on
1,000%.
loan on her scruples,
Mhm.
negative in the accounts. But by the time the story ended, you know, like she had a good scruple portfolio.
This is the needle in the haystack, the diamond in the rough that kind of provides starting off at a horrible place, but using just communication and, you know, putting things out in the sunlight to just keep working at it until you either find out if they're really
Bad.
not a great person or if they really can, you know, pass the test and make it all the way. And dare I say it, she passed the test.
And you know what?
Dare I say it?
I think that's the whole point of having communication, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like we are human, we mess up.
That's right.
And you know the whole those without sin cast the first stone. No one's casting that first stone because
can't nobody do it.
can't nobody do it, right? But I think what stories like this prove is like when you have open and honest communication, you can get through things that people do that are wrong and come out stronger and better on the other side.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing. It allows for us to grow with people when they make mistakes rather than just have a long line of people that we just cut off in our life. And like,
There you go.
if we do that, we're going to be super lonely.
There's only so many people.
There's only so many people. And let's just say not all of them are perfect.
Big facts. Could have said it better myself. My daughter says I embarrassed her at school, but it's not my fault.
Mom, you're so embarrassing.
This is a throwaway account to protect the privacy of everyone. I, 39 female, have a daughter, Natalie, 9 female, who is in 3rd grade. Her regular teacher is on medical leave indefinitely after having an open heart surgery. Ooh, ouchie. Her class is being covered by a long-term sub named
So
Mrs.
random.
Coffee, 50s female.
Yeah.
By the way, this comes from a long jumping song, 718. If you want to submit your own story, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So Mrs. Coffee is majorly interested in classic movies and shows an older, age-appropriate movie on Friday afternoon if the class finishes all their work for the week. I am 100% in favor of
I
this.
love that.
Great idea. Great idea. Natalie is very, very sensitive to animal injuries / death. This is a child who cried for a half an hour after hearing about a giraffe
A draft?
that passed away in a zoo states away.
Aw.
What a little sweetheart. Although she has been diagnosed with anxiety disorder, her sensitivity isn't the result of trauma or a mental illness. It's just who she is. On Thursday at about 1 p.m., Mrs. Coffee sent out a message on the parent notification app congratulating the students on their hard work, announcing that the students will be watching The Never-Ending Story.
That's
I already know. I see you. Freaking saddest movie.
For those unfamiliar, The Never-Ending Story contains...
No, it's spoiling it.
I mean, I could have guessed. An especially upsetting scene where a horse passes away.
It's so sad.
It's so sad.
So a scene like this that would cause most people to choke up could potentially result in a full-on meltdown for Natalie. Natalie knows movie scenes aren't real and that no actual animals are hurt. This is just her response. I messaged Mrs. Coffee on the app and briefly told her about Natalie's sensitivity and asked her if she could quietly warn Natalie about the scene and allow her to be excused if she prefers. The scene is about 4 minutes long.
Just skip the scene.
Oh. No,
Just
you
skip this-
can't.
Not for the other kids, though.
You can't. It's an important scene in the movie.
I didn't hear anything for about an hour until Mrs. Coffee made another post on the notification app announcing rather curtly that the movie was canceled.
Dang.
No reason was given. I figured that the class was acting up and she canceled the movie just as a punishment. When I picked up Natalie from school, she was furious with me. She said that I embarrassed her and got movie day canceled. I asked her what in the world she was talking about. She said Mrs. Coffee canceled the movie because, quote, some parents objected to the content while glaring at Natalie. I asked Natalie if she was sure Mrs. Coffee was talking about her. I never objected to the movie, and I was certainly not trying to imply that it shouldn't be shown. I explained to her about the horse scene and that I was just trying to keep her from being caught off guard by a sad animal scene. She accepted this explanation, and I told her that I would talk to Mrs. Coffee. I decided to bypass the notification and talk directly to Mrs. Coffee in person the next morning. No digital pixels in between, to avoid any misunderstanding. I thought maybe she was having a rough day and would sleep on it and reconsider. I asked her if she really thought that I was objecting to the movie. I only wanted my daughter to be prepared for something that could be potentially upsetting to her. Mrs. Coffee then proceeded to tell me that I was babying Natalie and that life is tough. To be fair, Natalie's excessive emotional displays can be irritating, and I do agree that she will eventually need to learn to control it. But having this sprung on her in school didn't seem to be the appropriate time or place to try to toughen her up. But as it turned out, Mrs. Coffee obviously called out Natalie in front of her peers. That is the part that has me upset. Her classmates are upset with her over something that never had to be a big deal in the first place. I know that I should have talked to Natalie before going to the teacher, but you know what they say about hindsight. I'm not sure what to do to make this right. Aside from this incident, Mrs. Coffee is a great teacher and Natalie enjoys her class. I'm not ready to get the principal involved. Should I have just kept my mouth shut and hoped for the best? Do you guys think I'm babying Natalie? I just left the meeting with Mrs. Coffee and don't want to do anything to fuel the fire. But we have some comments, ladies and gentlemen. Commenter number 1, perhaps you could have given your daughter the heads up yourself. Teachers also cold, have also could have subbed another movie in if she was uncomfortable showing it. I am a teacher and that teacher is wrong. You tried to talk to the teacher with horrible results. The principal needs to know what happened. Also, I have a highly functioning autistic child and I have done exactly what you did. Give the teacher a heads up about the possibility of her having a breakdown, not the a-hole. And the reply says, I grew up in the time of The Never-Ending Story and I wouldn't show it to my kid. That horse scene is horrific, like deeply traumatized.
Nah, my kids are, I'm showing it to my kids.
It's a good movie.
They had different standards in the 90s. More than one kid would have been upset by that. So for starters, I am not a helicopter parent. I allow my children age-appropriate freedom to make their own decisions and sort out their own problems. Natalie knows not to come with me about a school work issue until she has talked to the teacher first. She's very brave where it really counts. She has a reputation for standing up to other kids being bullied. That's awesome. Dude, that to me is like top tier parenting right there. Shout out to you, OP. Put it this way. No one has picked on her little brother and sister more than once. Maybe she's freaking throwing it down.
She's like, how dare you?
Her sensitivity to animals is the only thing that sets her off like this, with the giraffe incident being the most extreme that I recall. It's usually seeing passed away animals on the side of the road or seeing those animal rescue charities that gets her going. Natalie.
It's like the video, the trailers on, or the ads where it's like, in the arms. So she's like bawling.
Dude, I mean, those are sad,
It's
man.
just sad, man.
Some just sad puppies, dude. What am I supposed to do? Not cry?
Exactly.
Natalie is not really a TV person, but doesn't really like to sit down for full movies at home. She did see The Lion King, but she was about 3 to 4 years old and it didn't really register what was happening. Now, about Natalie's class, there are about 5 kids in that class who like to clown around and disrupt. Natalie tells me that they can be very rude when corrected. Her regular teacher, Mrs. T, could manage them, but they've been a nightmare for Mrs. Coffee. I talked to Natalie about asking her to demonstrate what happened. Playing the role of Mrs. Coffee, she said, movie day was canceled because parents objected to the content, while giving me, playing the role of Natalie, a death glare. Natalie then said one of the troublemakers said, hey, it's not my fault this time, while pointing at Natalie and laughing.
Dang.
Mrs. Coffee did nothing to correct them. Natalie further explained that Mrs. Coffee started showing the movies to try to get the kids to behave. It went okay the first week, but Mrs. Coffee canceled and reinstated the movie so often that it became a game to those unruly kids. Plus, the kids were starting to complain that Mrs. C's movie choices were boring and they should just watch Coco or the Mario Bros movie. From what I'm piecing together, Mrs. Coffee was starting to regret the whole movie as a reward system, and my message gave her the out she needed. Ooh, that's not good. You gotta stand on your choices, Mrs. Coffee. Brew on your decisions. I asked Natalie if she wanted to see the AITAH scene just so she would know what all the fuss was about, and she declined. I believe more out of lack of interest than anxiety. I didn't push that issue. I was going to try to talk to her again on Monday morning. If it doesn't go well, I will get the principal involved. And we've got update number 2. So I went in this morning to talk to Mrs. Coffee again, but there was another sub there, Mrs. Helen, whom Natalie knows well. Natalie was happy to see her and gave her a hug. She informed me that Mrs. Coffee had been reassigned at her own request to the high school, not the same one I teach at, thank goodness. Oh, OP is also a teacher? Right, that's right.
Oh.
Mrs. Helen also told me that Mrs. T, regular teacher, was tentatively scheduled to come back on March 17th. So if all goes well, things will be back to normal in just 2 weeks. I believe Mrs. Helen can get the class back under control. I took the advice many of you gave and spoke to the assistant principal, Mrs. Fetterbottom. Mrs. Fetterbottom seemed shocked and told me that she had personally banned Mrs. Coffee from showing the Neverending Story because it hadn't gone through the school's approval process for movies.
Oh, so she blamed it on Natalie and it wasn't even Natalie's fault?
So someone else must have tipped off the admin. If Mrs. Coffee was salty that she got called out for blatantly defying the rules, then that has nothing to do with Natalie or with me. That's true facts. Another true fact, if you want full episodes, chock full of stories just like this for your entertainment pleasure, go to Spotify, Apple, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. What are you still doing waiting here?
What are you doing?
Why are you still waiting to search up the podcast?
Go search it up.
I still don't know why Mrs. Coffee glared at Natalie and led the class to believe that the movie cancellation was her fault. I also don't know what the admin is going to do with the information I gave them. But if Mrs. Coffee ever subs in Natalie's class again, she better treat her very nice and kind or there will be serious problems.
That's what I like to hear.
Mm-hmm. When I picked up Natalie, Mrs. Helen said that on her last day of subbing, she will take Natalie to the media center and let her pick from among the approved movies, and we'll have a movie makeup day with popcorn.
Yes.
Mrs. Helen is on it.
A movie makeup day with popcorn? Oh my goodness. This
She
would be my
improved.
favorite teacher.
We've improved.
I want to go to this school.
Yeah.
Right?
You never had
Dude.
popcorn at my school.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
You never had movie day?
Come
We just
on.
had religious trauma.
Yeah, let's go. Catholic
Best movie of all.
school. Let's go.
So I guess all's well that ends well. Oh, I almost forgot. Not one of Natalie's classmates said anything to her about the movie cancellation today.
I've been married to my husband for 11 years, but now I'm questioning if I want to stay married.
After 11 years, you thought, this may not be it.
It's time to start asking questions. Am I entitled for questioning my marriage with my husband of 11 years? Hi, first of all, many apologies in advance if I'm rambling or if my sentences aren't perfect. I guess when you're in depression, language is the least of your concerns. Me, 40 female, and my husband, 41 male, have been married for 11 years. Strap in because I might as well give you the full context rather than being bombarded with questions later. Those who think this is a fictional writing attempt, please please scroll away, as I do need calm and sound advice and perspectives and not callous or indignant remarks. That is my life right now. Thank you in advance to those who will be giving sane and mature advice. You're welcome. I was raised by my maternal grandparents since I was a kid, as both of my parents worked very hard. Growing up, I was physically and emotionally bullied by my elder sister, and I quickly understood from a very young age that my sister was acting this way because she was the first grandchild/child in the family and is used to being the center of attention. This, me coming into the world, kind of robbed a lot of attention from her. So, the only way I could solve the bullying situation was to withdraw myself and let my sister enjoy her attention. Looking back, my response was flight rather than fight. By the way, this comes from user Professional Try 11-8 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, my parents' relationship wasn't a happy one. We witnessed fights and arguments. My father had a bad temper as he was shielded and pampered by his elder siblings. My mom was a hardworking but burnt out wife and daughter who was also very close to her parents and their well-being. She's kind of like the volunteered martyr because her siblings always pushed the responsibility of caring for the parents to my mom. When my younger sister was born, of course, she was the baby of the family. When my elder sister was 12, my parents took her back as she didn't do well on her exams. I only found out later that mom wanted to take me back too, but my grandmother, who is bipolar and a manipulative narcissist, demanded that I stay with her and grandfather. So both my sisters got along very well at my parents' place. I would only go back on the weekends, but every time I went back, I felt the distant and unwelcome vibes from my siblings. Now, of course, being human, I also made mistakes, sometimes making my family unhappy, but only when I grew up as a teen and had a mind of my own that I realized that whenever my grandmother showed me was her masterclass manipulation. Yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit of time before you realize, oh, that person is toxic.
Sometimes it shows their true colors, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, but I mean, especially with family, it's like, oh, my grandma's manipulating me? Damn. So I thought certain aspects of her behavior was normal. Grandfather was strict with her, but after he retired, he kind of synced up to her whims. I guess he just gave up after the daily manipulation rants and woe is me mindset doctrine in his brain. He was a role model when I was growing up, my superhero. When I was a teen, my grandmother was going through her menopause, and it was a nightmare. Since I wised up on common sense and morality, my grandmother didn't like it when I didn't agree with her. She would call me and scream at me with many unholy names, and I would just keep quiet. I would just go to my room, cry, and blame myself by agreeing to the name she was calling me. Oh, you almost had it. Just staying quiet. Look, if people's going to berate you, just stay quiet and be assured in the knowledge that what they're saying is untrue. That's the champion move. It's hard to do, though.
Silence is louder than anything sometimes.
True. I tried telling this to my parents, but they just shrugged it off, saying it was normal and to just deal with it. Elder sister was in her prime teen years, so there was no way she would ever listen to me. School was kind of my welcome distraction, as what was taught made sense. As you all suspected, I was an introvert, even though I did have a few friends in school. I knew I had trauma growing up, but there wasn't really anyone that would listen or understand me. I can't really trust my siblings as they also don't really understand sisterhood code. Whatever small secret I shared in the past, both would just spill the beans, and that made my insecurities deepen. As I grew older, I learned to disconnect and set boundaries. I learned to identify my childhood traumas, and to be honest, I'm still dealing with them. It's all a work in progress. I already identify to forgive my family. That, in my opinion, is going okay, but the hardest is learning how to forgive myself. I still feel I am an undeserving person, and I know that residual subconscious grandmother voice still echoes in my brain. So now you know generally about me, let me go to my husband.
Oh.
My husband is the long-awaited child of my in-laws. They tried and waited for 5 years until they were pregnant with my husband. He is their only child. Both my parents are the youngest in their family. Both came from a prominent family, but their wealth kind of declined after his aunties and uncles did their own thing rather than build their family's wealth. Not really 100% about this story. In my 20s, I had my fair share of learning about relationships through dating guys. I was actually quite decent looking, but reserved. My close friends thought I would marry an expat due to my sultry, tall, and mysterious vibes. To be honest, I don't like cosmetics. I like simple dressing and chose elegant over especially when it was in thing in the 2000s. I mean, most of the songs back then were filled with innuendo of spicy sleep and promiscuity.
Guess what? They still are.
Yeah, they
to this day.
In fact, it's not even innuendo anymore.
It's straight in your face.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Because of that culture back then, a lot of guys tried to get fresh with me, and me being reserved, somehow it made a lot of the guys trying to look at me as a conquest rather than getting to really know me. Needless to say, I became cynical when it came to relationships and dating. Then comes an unexpected gentle breeze of a message on Facebook. I was a nurse in a big hospital during a night shift run and saw this guy randomly message me. My usual response for guys to get off my back is, "Do I know you?" And I leave it at that. But he replied in such a nice and gentlemanly way that I was intrigued. It was a breath of fresh air when compared to your normal corny pickup lines. Cutting the story short, he passed all of the not the Playboy litmus tests. He asked permission to date me from my parents. He got to know my grandfather, and he got his feedback. My grandpa liked him. He went through genetic carrier blood tests since I have the same genetic carrier in me. He didn't even touch me, like not even holding hands until I was ready and comfortable. He's a chef. He just came back from an impressive overseas training. He cooked me food, and which girl in their right mind could hate a boyfriend chef making them European butter and creamy desserts?
Me too. I'm ready.
Yeah, where's he at?
I'll take him off your hands.
I was, in short, swept up by all his gentlemanly ways and his food. Plus, he was also an introvert like me. It was like a dream for someone like me, the undeserving cynic that my own family understand. We dated for a few years and got married in a small but beautiful intimate wedding in a botanical garden. We're Asian, so instead of 2,000 people over 2 to 3 days, which is the norm, we opt for 300 people in a day. Wow.
Listen,
I need to go to some Asian weddings.
I've been to a couple Asian weddings.
2,000?
Not that much.
Okay, let's keep going. Because, like, literally, they just cut out all the... After the wedding, I had to move to his family home as we were planning to save up for a long European honeymoon, but we found out that I was expecting, and that money had to go to the OBGYN visits. He wasn't working, but rather trying to find work at the time, so I had to work until I was ready to give birth. All the money I had saved up for the things needed for the baby. If you're a mom, you know what I'm talking about. At this time, I was only working part-time, and money was very tight. I was very grateful for his parents' willingness to let us stay there while we waited for our apartment building to be ready. These moments is where I noticed my first red flags. His mom is a traditional housewife where she does everything for her husband and son. She's very good at housekeeping, and I just followed on how she runs her house. What I find a bit uncomfortable is that every time after a meal, the guys would just leave all of their dirty dishes. She would ask/advised me on how to do my laundry, fold, etc. Just small things. They were her house rules, so I just complied. Post-labor, my son had a very bad colic, and we couldn't sleep for 2 to 3 months from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. every day. And that's where I noticed his mom getting more aggressive in the way I handled my son. She would tell me about how her friends would tell her stories on how to handle a baby, maybe about how it might be a spiritual disturbance, on how male babies are more prone to having seizures, etc., etc. Mind you, she knew that I'm a nurse, and I had to remind her daily that it was just colic. I had to bring her together to a pediatrician and confirm my diagnosis, and she had the audacity to try to outdiagnose the very experienced pediatrician who rightfully served her. I tried so hard not to laugh at that. My mother-in-law is a helicopter grandma to my son, despite me telling her gently not to be. I'm still not very confrontational. Meanwhile, my husband got a job and we were relieved. For those who don't know, life as a chef's wife isn't as glamorous nor a romantic one, as you may assume. When I go to work, he would still be asleep. He would only be back around midnight, and by that time he would be tired. Weekends and public holidays would be gone, as it would be a busy period for them. Off day is once a week, and that day would be for him to finally catch up on some sleep. He would only be awake around noon. For me, I support his passion for cooking and continue to give my thoughts and advice on how to grow. We would watch food shows and try out recipes. He really enjoys cooking, and I don't want his passion to fizzle out. We finally moved out of his family house and have been living in our own apartment. It was tough in the beginning, as I had to train my husband about shared household chores and shared parenting whenever whenever he can. I was proud that he is now reliable in doing the dishes and laundry when needed. We're now married for 11 years and have a very outgoing and very curious daughter too. Codename, Chaos. I told my husband, Chaos Control.
Chaos control.
I told my husband because of his limited time with the kids, he had to spend quality time with them by sending them to school each morning. He had a decent relationship with the kids because of this. I, on the other hand, have to be the nurturer and disciplinary figure of the children. It's tougher than it sounds, and to be honest, I already felt the burnout after giving birth to our daughter, especially when I experienced postnatal blues. I remember feeling overwhelmed and crying with my toddler on my left and me carrying my infant daughter all alone at home. My husband couldn't get off work and I had to deal with them. Man, that is tough. That is tough. And that's all I got to say about that. The thing about my husband and work is that he is very efficient, disciplined, and responsible. He doesn't take sick leave until he's totally burnt out sick. His employers love him, and now he is promoted to head chef. The thing about me is, because of his working hours and the kids, I decided to open up my own medical service business. I complete my appointments, I have to rush home, cook, clean, and pick up the kids and take care of them, and this has been going on for too long.
You're a super mom.
Yeah, you
the super mom. Every mom's a super mom.
Super mommy.
But you got a super mom.
We also don't go on holiday often. We went once out of force by me after 3 years being married, and the last one was only last year in a short neighboring country holiday. We push our money mostly to the house, the bills, and educating the children. I enjoyed going on holidays when I was single, but now it is a long, hard, and distant entitlement. As the years passed, our relationship as husband and wife drifted further, being replaced by the responsibilities of being a parent. There were so many times over the years I had reminded him, but it all just started to become empty promises. His vision of spending quality time with me is watching videos related to food at nights now. It got to the point that I got sick of watching any videos related to food. I feel more distant and more disappointed despite me reminding him. Of course, there were moments where we fought. The big ones were where he lost my diamond earring that I worked hard for, and the big one was when he lost my beautiful floral designed wedding ring that was brought by my grandparents to the pawn shop.
Wait, what?
He pawned your wedding ring?
He lost your earring.
He didn't
lost.
No. He didn't lose anything.
No.
He pawned your wedding ring.
Well, he pawned the wedding ring. Do you think he pawned the earring as well?
Conspiracy theory.
But why?
I don't know. That's
Do we have a reason? I mean, we know that those are
well.
the
We
big ones.
at the end of the day, we know that's incredibly disrespect.
Oh, huge.
Yeah. Let's keep going. Throwing the ring away was very painful to me because it's a bittersweet memory of our marriage and sentiments of now. My tumultuous relationship with my grandmother and loving grandfather. I gave him an ultimatum to step up as a husband, replace my wedding ring with the same design, and build back my trust. The ultimatum had the timeline of a year, and he did well for about 8 months. But I noticed he started to get negligent again. Oh, yeah, did I mention he was a procrastinator? Yeah, that annoys me a lot. We fought again, and that was the reason we went on that short holiday in the neighboring country, along with some couples counseling. The counseling was so helpful that it made my husband realize that him being the only child, he doesn't know how to behave when I'm upset. It took the counselor to literally guide him to get up and comfort me. I was a crying mess. This was last year. My husband decided not to continue with the couples counseling because he thinks he already pinpointed the issue and will continue working on it.
That's not it. That's wrong.
That's a classic move, though. It happened to me. I went to therapy and I was like, oh, I'm done. And then I realized years later, I was like, oh, I'm not. Am I? I'm definitely not.
That was just the first chapter.
Yeah.
You got many more chapters to realize. You're like, oh, that's the only problem? No, you got a lot more issues. And he does not sound like he's respecting you.
Well, the ring thing is like, what's
But
going
also just
on there?
like not being the husband you want to be or the partner you want to be is not looking good.
Well, I will say this. There's certain professions that are hard to have relationships with.
Mm-hmm.
Head chef is going to be one of them because that is a job that demands almost all of you, especially if you're working in an upper echelon sort of environment, which I'm not sure if he is, but like he did get like special training and it's like, so he's I think that's what he wants to do.
But still.
But I mean, it's kind of I don't want to say a fact of life, but it's like,
It's
anyway, let's just keep going.
Which route do you take? Being the better parent or the better like yourself.
Yeah.
It seems like he's doing himself.
Now, if you've still been following me, thank you so much for your patience. This year, I gifted my husband a video game console with many games that he and the children would like. He loves games, especially the soccer and fighting kind. Every year, I made sure to plan and celebrate his and the kid's birthday. Recently, my 40th birthday passed, and it was disastrous. Now, I didn't expect Chanel or Hermès or even a party for my birthday. On the day, my husband took leave, which I was grateful for, woke up late around 10 a.m., and by that time, I've already cleaned and cooked breakfast for the whole family. When I asked my husband what we would be doing today, he said he plans to cook a hot pot lunch. That's it. At this point, I knew he didn't plan ahead for anything for my birthday. I was upset, but I tried to nudge him and suggested to rent a car, to have lunch, and just drive by and enjoy a scenic route. He agreed and said lunch needs to be humble.
Huh?
Okay.
Does he know it's your birthday?
Need a humble lunch. I don't know if this was bubbling under the surface or a volcano's time to erupt, but when we were outside at a food court, my kids were arguing and I snapped. I cried and ran to the bathroom to continue crying. My daughter came to the bathroom to see if I was there. I only went out for about 30 minutes. When I was back, my son was trying to look for me around the mall. My husband was there just keeping quiet. I didn't eat my lunch. I had lost all my appetite. I already told my children that I would like to have a happy family time together. When we were finally in the car, I told my husband to drive me back home and for them to just continue without me. I ugly cried again, but in the car this time. Secretly, I was hoping he and the children would force me to stay and apologize to me, but nothing of the sort happened. He dropped me off. I went up alone in the house and I started bawling again. I got a bad headache from all the crying that I had to take some strong medicine and fell asleep.
No, OP. Not. This is on your birthday too.
Yeah, it sucks, OP. I mean, you know,
Nope.
expectations.
Yeah.
Expectations, they're the what set us up for all the disappointment in our lives. They only came back around 11 p.m. and didn't even come to the room and apologize. When I went out, my husband slept on the couch outside. I stood there again feeling worthless and screamed at him. He woke up and said he has spoken to the children. He didn't even realize that I was mad at him. Well, by the way, I want all of you to realize right now that you can join us every weekday at 3 p.m. PST when we go live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and TikTok. All you gotta do is tap on our profile and you're in. And if you're watching this right now, we might even be live this very moment. But before you check on that, let's finish this story. I think your husband's not paying you enough attention.
No,
not
not
the
at all.
attention that you need. Which, you know, everyone has different needs and desires.
Right.
I think, yeah, you did say that there were some reminders, but I think a really clear sit-down communication with your husband is required here. Like,
Do we go back to couples counseling or couples therapy?
I think we'd kind of make that a demand.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if we're going to continue to operate in this relationship, we need to continue with counseling because, and regardless, and, you know, I don't know if it's this way with girls, but I know with guys will get real defensive about going to therapy if they're not already open to it.
Okay.
It's just a cultural thing. Like a lot of guys, I don't know. It's
They
like
don't think
it's just a
therapy's-
thing.
Yeah, they don't think therapy's
You know,
it.
they're
Yeah.
reluctant to do it.
Anything with emotion and the male mindset. No, I'm saying it for everyone.
No, we're generalizing, but it's just a
but
thing
that's
that's,
the thing.
it's, no, I don't think anyone would say that it's not something that is, anyway.
But I think you need to communicate to your husband because even when you guys had couples counseling, he was like, "Oh, that's it. That's like the one problem."
Yeah,
And obviously,
right.
That's not it.
And that's not, it's literally speaking from experience. It's like you get one problem, it unlocks the next one that you got to figure out. One thing that I also want to touch on it might not be fair. I don't know. I might get roasted for this one, but I secretly wanted them to not let me leave. Like by saying that you wanted to just get dropped off at the house, you kind of set yourself up for failure in a way. Not that you failed or anything, but it's just an expression. Like, you know, maybe say like,
oh, say how you feel, rather
right,
than just,
instead of like wanting them to just sort of do it. I think like coming like your husband's like the only child. He literally doesn't know how to even nurture a person.
and the children don't know.
So like it's like super upfront, transparent communication. I think is going to be very key if this relationship is going to move forward in a healthy way.
Right.
And like being like, I wanted secretly for them to like,
No, I
that's
agree
not
with
going to
you.
help anybody,
I agree
including
with you.
you. Like, you know, like, I mean, right after you went up and cried so hard, you got a headache. Like,
Today's your birthday. You should not have to, play games or feel this way. I mean, any day you shouldn't feel like that, but especially on your day,
Yeah.
they should have known. But
Mhm.
especially your husband.
And maybe you can be a little cheeky about it, you know? It's like, you're like, I just want to go home. And then it's like, once he takes you home, you go like, you just nudge him and you're like, that was a test. You're supposed to like be like, no, let's spend the day together.
But
It's your birthday.
again, here's the thing: OP was in a very emotional state of mind and just couldn't think through, and just like, I'm crying, and you think the husband would have been at least realized, like, oh. And
Like,
that's
this
the
is
thing.
not a time to just like send her home and then spend the whole day away from her. Like,
Yeah, especially on her day, like, oh,
Right.
she said we can just drop her off and go and hang out.
yeah, but
Like-
let's finish this story. The lack of effort and the lack of thought of me, his wife of 11 years, I just let out my angst and feelings when he started to mansplain the situation to me. I quickly stopped him and told him that was how I was feeling and not his to dismiss. Then he pulled my son out of the bedroom to force him to apologize to what happened during lunch, and regrettably, I lashed out my anger and disappointment to him. All the neglect and disrespect that was just him following in how my husband sometimes speaks to me. That disobedience, despite me rationalizing why, the inattentive listening that forces me to repeat instructions. My dearest Redditors, I feel like running away on an island far away. Oh no.
I think
So what was the question at the very top here? It was, am I entitled for questioning my marriage? My husband of 11 years. Yeah, I think everyone is entitled to question their marriage literally at any point. You can always reassess.
Yeah.
But like, I think there is probably a path forward here that doesn't necessarily involve divorce or separation.
No.
I think the biggest first step is like very clear, like, I want to say brute, but like blunt, very clear, blunt communication about what your needs and desires are and that they need to be met by your husband.
Yeah. This is your relationship. And again, it takes two to tango, but you need to voice what's your concerns,
Mm-hmm.
and he also needs to voice his concerns.
Right.
But it seems like you're not voicing that. And again, couples counseling, I think you need to just put your foot down and be like,
Mhm.
we need to go back.
Yeah, couples counseling should be like a required reading if this relationship is going to continue.
Especially
But-
with right now.
That is the end of that story.
My husband defended me against my toxic sister. I told him to not apologize. This is my first time posting here, but I've commented a lot, so I'm using a new account to stay anonymous. I, female, and the youngest of 7 kids. The problem I have is with my eldest sibling, my sister Mary. Mary has always undermined and judged my choices growing up. By the way, this comes from plus apricot 2067 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, for example, when I wanted to take a gap year after high school to save money for university, Mary told me it was a bad idea and that once I took a gap year, I'd never go back, just like her. I almost didn't go through with it because she made me second guess myself. To be fair, it is hard to restart school after taking time off. Then after the gap year, I changed my major, maybe to forest something, whatever you just said, after the first semester, and she yelled at me for hours about how I was going to ruin my life and waste all my money since I couldn't make up my mind. I have countless examples of times she made me cry from yelling or maybe question my decisions, and at the time, I felt compelled to listen to her. After meeting my husband, then boyfriend, and getting a therapist, they both helped me realize I needed distance from Mary because she's extremely toxic and both emotionally and verbally abusive. It took a lot of effort, but I finally went no contact with her. I finished university, got a job in my chosen field, thanks to my brother-in-law, moved in with my husband, and eventually got married. Moved in with my husband and eventually got married. For the first time in a long time, I felt truly happy. I still see Mary during family events and holidays. I hate seeing her, but it's my family too, and I don't want to miss out because of her. However, she always finds a way to ruin the holiday for me. She often takes digs at my husband saying she doesn't like him and that I could do better. My husband usually tells me to ignore her because he thinks she's only doing it for a reaction. Last weekend, we had our Thanksgiving celebration at my mom's house. When we arrived, my husband asked my mom if we could host Christmas at our place since her house is getting too small to fit everyone. Before my mom could respond, Mary jumped in saying, "We shouldn't offer a home we didn't buy," and then called my husband an effing nepotism baby. That comment made me mad because she knows nothing about my husband's situation. My husband inherited our home from his grandfather after he passed away, so her saying that was incredibly sensitive. Sorry, incredibly insensitive.
Yeah.
Both my mom and I told her off, and she quieted down for a bit. But during dinner, my brother asked me how work was going, and Mary chimed in again, claiming, I probably don't know since my husband is rich.
Oh, Mary, Mary, Mary. Would you please shut your mouth, Mary?
I corrected her, explaining that we're not rich and that I work as a preschool teacher, and she knows this. Standing up for myself seemed to completely set her off. She yelled at me, saying I was only working there because I couldn't handle the other program I was in, and that she knows I'm not happy with my temporary job and I should be pursuing a more serious career. But Mary kept yelling, tearing into my life choices. I got anxious and nervous, as I always do when she yells. It brings back trauma she caused me. I tried to defend myself, but started stuttering, which made her escalate. My mom and siblings tried to get her to stop, but she wouldn't. Then she said something that hurt the most. She called me a disappointment and claimed my mom felt the same way. At that point, my husband lost it. He started yelling at her, which is rare for him since he's very usually calm. He swore at her and called her some names, including a fat bee, a see you next Tuesday. He also called her evil and said no one in the family liked her. It turned into a screaming match.
He really got her with like the 1-2 and then the uppercut at the end there.
Yeah, the knee to the groin.
The Hadouken.
Yeah.
My mom tried to calm Mary down and my husband, but neither of them would stop. My husband and I ended up leaving and going back to the Airbnb we were staying at. The next day, we went back to my mom's house. My husband apologized to my mom for yelling and ruining dinner, but said he wouldn't apologize to Mary. Since then, my mom has been calling me, asking me to get my husband to apologize to keep the peace. Mary still lives with her, and my mom is tired of her ranting about how rude my husband was and cursing him out. But I told my mom, I'm not going to make him apologize. No, sirree. I know he was rude, and some of the things he said were harsh. But Mary was also rude and always rude, and no one is telling her to apologize to us.
Exactly.
Would I be the a-hole for not telling my husband to apologize just to keep the peace with my sister? I know that neither of us owe Mary anything, but apologizing would make things easier on my mom. We do have an update.
Look, I didn't hear exactly everything that was said, right?
He called her a see you next Tuesday and a fat witch.
But she came at him first.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. It sounds like look, I mean, you always want to be, the bigger person is like thrown around a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, however, I don't know if you
But it's not
need
who
to,
comes first, it's who comes last, I feel. And like that's
I agree. And which is why I think that you need to determine whether or not you even want to keep Mary around if she's going to continue this sort of behavior.
Yeah.
And if not, then I don't think your husband needs to apologize to Mary. I think he can say, see you never.
I didn't expect my original post to get so many comments. First, I want to thank everyone who responded. Having a group of strangers get upset on my behalf was incredibly sweet and meant so much to me. Thank you all for your support. My husband also wanted me to pass along his thanks as well for standing up for me. I showed him this post and he feels vindicated. His words, not mine. He truly is such a wonderful man and I'm very lucky to have him. I responded to some comments, but I wanted to make a larger post to address the things I saw mentioned the most. First, I called my mom today and told her that my husband will definitely not be apologizing to Mary. He did apologize to the rest of the family. I think that's good for making a scene, though. I feel bad for my mom, but making the original post gave me the courage I needed to tell her this. I don't like seeing her stress, but I need to protect my husband just like he always protects me. 1,000%.
Yeah.
My husband read a couple of comments suggesting he could apologize for the language he used, which I think is something that we were saying here. Mm-hmm. He offered to do that, but I told him it wasn't necessary since Mary would never return the apology for what she said. My mom said she understood and promised not to bring it up again. I also told her for her own sake to ignore Mary if she starts ranting about it again. Next, I saw a lot of comments about cutting off my mom or going low contact with her, which I think I do agree with, at least going low contact. Also, a lot that were bashing her. I want to say up front that I'm not going to do that, nor do I appreciate those rude comments. I agree that my mom has enabled some of Mary's behavior. She's not a bad mom. She's always tried to control Mary, but Mary doesn't listen to anyone. I agree. She might not be a bad mom in your eyes, but to not at least voice that you believe something is wrong, to be a bystander in what you see as really terrible behavior is often a signal of endorsement. And I think like what you have right here is the mom essentially endorsing Mary's behavior in silence.
Is it endorsement through exhaustion though? Like, is it just happened?
Yeah,
Has she
no,
been
it's
down
this
this road so often that she just at this point knows how Mary is?
Yeah, no, yeah, no, you're right. You're right. We should be very empathetic to how much the mother has had to endure at the hands of Mary, but I still think it's like it is her duty. She's always tried to control Mary, but Mary doesn't listen to anyone. My mom raised 7 kids on her own. Our dad passed away when I was 2, and Mary was 14. It's impossible to pay attention to everything with so many kids. And I don't blame my mom for not being able to stop the abuse when it started. I didn't even know it was abuse when I was a kid. I thought my mom worked a lot to support us when we were kids, and unfortunately for all of us, this meant that Mary was forced to take on a parental role. And since I was the youngest, it made her both very attached and resentful towards me, words from my therapist. My mom has made mistakes, so has every parent, and I'm not going to hold a grudge against the only parent I know. However, I think having a serious conversation with her would be a good idea. I agree. I might even bring her to a therapy session so we can talk about everything Mary put me through. I haven't talked to her about it much, and what my mom knows is just the tip of the iceberg. She really does try her best to parent us. She always has, but Mary is too much for everyone. Many people ask why Mary still lives at home. I mentioned this in a comment, but Mary has a chronic pain disease that forces her to take a lot of time off work. I also think it's another reason why she is so mean.
Yeah.
I won't go into details, but she does have a job, but she can't afford to live on her own. None of my siblings are willing to take her in, and most of them are low contact with her since she treats us all the same. My mom isn't the kind of person to turn her back on her kids, so she lets Mary stay. I also think she does this as a way of making it up to Mary for relying on her so much for childcare. Some comments asked if Mary was abusing my mom. I want to clarify that this isn't the case. For everything Mary has done, she's never put her hands on anyone. While she does fight like this with my mom sometimes, she treats her much better than the rest of us. The worst thing she does is use my mom as her personal therapist. By the way, if you want to use us as your personal therapist, you can join us live on YouTube and Facebook every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. We're probably live right now. Just tap our profile.
And to clarify, we are not legally therapists or healthcare professionals.
Exactly. We're better. Mary is absolutely not coming to Christmas. I was never planning to invite her, and my husband would never allow her within 20 feet of our home. She will throw a fit, but we don't care. I love the holidays, and for once, I'd like to spend them with people who actually care about me. I also think it's a good idea to take your advice to avoid family gatherings if Mary is present. That will be hard because I don't want to miss time with the rest of my family. You know, maybe it's just something that you have to endure for a little bit.
I don't agree with avoiding all family gatherings because of one person. Because then I always feel like that person is quote unquote kind of like winning the situation.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't
let them win.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even about winning, to be clear. That's why I said quote unquote.
Coming from us.
It's more just about like you don't want your freedom of movement to be impacted because someone's presence at the party that you don't like or don't get along with. Like he's going to keep you from being
Dakota
there.
From someone who's winning.
Hey, I've had my fair share of losses, okay?
I don't know. Someone has a Zen garden in their new apartment.
Maybe. But no one's found it yet.
Do we have a new one?
No one's found it yet.
So I'll just make plans with them individually. Once again, thank you to everyone who commented. You've given me a lot to think about, and I'm planning to share some of your comments with my therapist to work through them. Some of them hit me hard, and I need time to unpack everything. This will be my last update, and I'll be deleting this account sometime after posting this. Take care, and I wish you all the best from both me and my husband. We hope you have a wonderful holiday, and that is where that story ends.
My controlling fiance turns out to be a cheater, so I ended our engagement.
Very reasonable reason.
For context, I'm I am mid-30s female, was engaged to my fiance, an early 40s male. Let's call him Kevin.
God, Kevin.
We meet in our country club through mutual friends in a group setting, and we hit it off. Oh, fancy. By the way, this comes from Aggressive Craft 314 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So I was working back then as a director at a very high level of seniority with 30 people under my guidance, and I never treated them as a boss. Always being fair in my job with my subordinates. Flexible hours, wasn't too concerned with them when they arrived at work as long as they delivered the task correctly and made sure they got their semi-annual pay raises and the annual profit share, and never fired anyone unless it was the last resort. So
it's like, I'm a pretty incredible boss.
my ex-fiance didn't care too much about what I did for a living because he sees himself as the provider and always tried to minimize my work when asked about me. Interesting. At first, I didn't want to end up alone and thought maybe if I just held on a little longer, things would sort out and get fixed in all sorts of ways. But inevitably, what happened was that he resented me, and I found out through our group of friends.
He resented you for what?
As an engaged couple, he would always try to take the lead in things,
Ugh.
never giving me a chance to speak my mind, and then telling me when we were alone that I am a moron and an idiot for dreaming big. This is old-fashioned misogynistic right
This
here.
is old-fashioned misogyny, and you need to get out. I'm sorry, you're being a boss lady, and he's like, you're too good at your job, and my job's really hard. And then you come home and you like try and talk at parties, and he's like, you're a moron. Disgusting.
The company I worked at, I was the youngest director under the age of 40.
Yeah, you're killing
And
it.
for some odd reason, that made his blood boil. Always arguing. The better I did at work, the worse we did. And so to try to smooth things over, I did submit my resignation letter, and my contract got terminated by the end of June 2023. I was paying more attention to him, just like he wanted, and stopped everything that he didn't want me to make him happy. And I am a hopeless romantic, and I adored him. Don't judge me too harshly.
Aw,
Dang.
No, I mean, I don't judge OP harshly, but it's just so sad that OP felt like the only way to receive love in this situation was to lessen herself.
Yeah. You have to
be
do
smaller.
You have to do, these are my expectations. You have to do XYZ.
Yeah. Your partner should love you as your biggest self.
Mm-hmm.
And you're shrinking yourself so that he can handle you.
Yeah, so we can have confidence in this relationship.
Yeah, and that's embarrassing for him.
As we started prepping for the wedding and I bought a new apartment for us and went furniture shopping, things started to get better bit by bit. Or so I thought, until I was at a cafe with friends and we were waiting for him, only for him to reject my calls. At first, I tried to brush it off, thinking traffic, until my friends told me they had to leave and I was waiting in that cafe alone for 4.5 hours when he showed up. Why would you, what? Why would you wait for?
Because I mean, he's kind of lowered her confidence so much that she feels like she has to do everything for him, even if it's waiting in a cafe for 4 hours.
His hair was disheveled and his clothes looked damp, like he had a shower. I tried asking him what held him up for 4.5 hours, but he wouldn't utter a single peep about his whereabouts and tried to act like I was the crazy one, saying, Astrid, sweetie, you're imagining things. I think you're just confused. Honestly, I was so pissed. Now my blood pressure was sky high that day. All right, everyone in the chat, you know what's up. I
see yous in the freaking chat.
Oh, my
Here
gosh.
it comes, because this man just can't handle that OP's so freaking cool. And is like, I need to not only undermine her confidence, I need to keep undermining her confidence.
I need to undermine someone else's.
Yeah.
I went home feeling so off about everything, unable to pinpoint what the heck had happened. Till the very next day, I got a text from an unknown number telling me, if you want to know the whole truth about your perfect, can do no wrong fiance, meet me at the same cafe you were at yesterday at 12:30 sharp. Who is this Batman?
Freaking ominous.
Who is this?
Ominous text like, if you want to know the secret, meet me behind the train at midnight. They like someone hands her, like she's walking and someone slips a piece of paper in her hand and she's like, what's this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My gut feeling told me I should go, and I did, and ignored his calls that day. When I went, I found a tall, Barbie-looking girl telling me, you must be Astrid. Her description, I am 165 centimeters and 57 kilos, with long reddish brown hair and hazel eyes, but I am nowhere near looking like a Barbie. So she's like 5'5" and about like 120-ish pounds.
That's why I was wondering what the conversion.
That's it. If I'm wrong, let me know. I think that's it. She felt so warm and welcoming and was asking me how me and Kevin met. I told her it was through a group meeting and mutual friends. We kind of hit it off. She was like, I don't want to alarm you, but I think you deserve to know the truth.
No.
Girl, we already know the truth.
Honestly, like, this is gonna suck, but like, I think Opie needs this.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna suck so hard, and I'm so sorry that's happening to you. But I think this is like the shock that's gonna get you out of this relationship.
She needed this May of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
I stared at her blankly, asking her what she meant, and that is when she told me that my so perfect fiance, who was adamant I quit my job, was actually working with his ex-fiance in the same company before we even met, and was complaining to her about me nonstop and to his mom, and he was the very reason my friends started to leave me one by one, along with his mom being the one adamant I leave my job.
No.
I tried to tell her that she was insane, and that is when she pulled a large manila envelope containing photos of him and his ex at the very same cafe we were sitting at and sitting intimately. I stayed quiet and listened to everything. Went home, packed my bags, and headed for the new apartment that I had bought. Called the locksmith and had the locks changed that same day. Packed all his belongings in 3 large boxes and his suitcase that belonged to him. He had bought things for our apartment, so these were his things, and left them at the side of the road. After a half hour, I called the hotel, the caterers, and the photographer and canceled everything. Called his mom, his dad, and sister, and sent them the pictures during his sister's birthday party that was oddly enough that same day of the photos of their precious son cheating.
Ooh.
She's airing out. She's drying this laundry, dude.
Ooh.
She is drying it.
Mm-hmm.
This is a dang
Air
movie.
that out.
That's right, Josephine. Yeah. He has called saying that he and his ex didn't have the spicy tango and that I was blowing things out of proportion, saying that I will live to regret it.
Oh my god.
And that I am already not young, so I will end up alone.
He's gonna end up alone.
Yeah.
He sucks. He's a horrible person. And you're a boss lady and you're gonna bounce back, girl.
Yeah, you gotta bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
So I ask you all, am I in the wrong for having done this? Given the fact that he used to dictate every single detail about me, from my hairstyle, manicure, and clothes to the car I drove and everything in between, I'm now questioning my decision. By the way, you can never question us if you join us live every weekday at 3 p.m. on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. All you gotta do is
tap our profile.
Girl, get out.
Yeah, you gotta get out of there. You aired out the laundry, and now go buy new clothes.
Gotta buy new clothes.
A whole new wardrobe.
Yep. You gotta pretty woman this up. P.S. to those who are saying it was written by AI, ha! I really wish this was a joke or something, but it's not. All I have left is my apartment, and I still don't have all the furniture. The only good thing out of this is that the apartment is fully my own, and I paid for it with half of my savings. To those asking about the friends part, he was feeding them lies, saying I was too in my head and too arrogant, and that he would come home to a house that was untidy and no food in the fridge.
Go buy food then.
Although I made sure to never set foot out of the house without the fridge being fully stocked with cooked food. I mean, all kinds of food. Ribeye, steak,
Dang.
chicken pot pie,
Dang.
apple strudel, his favorite custard, homemade yogurt, gnocchi,
Gnocchi.
yoki, gnocchi,
Yeah.
yoki, anything he wanted me to cook. And I made a habit of learning it.
That's crazy.
Holy
That's
cow.
crazy. She's going all out. And he's like, you should never have food in the fridge. Who cares? I hope you starve.
Yeah. Maybe not forever, but just like a week.
Just a week.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We got some comments. Scrappy8350 says, wait, who was the blonde? How did she get those pictures? Was she hired to follow
This is a
him?
good question.
If so, who hired her? OP, she was a friend of his ex-fiancé who felt like I shouldn't be kept in the dark. Sarcastic pediment. And what did she tell you? You made it so cryptic that he was in the same cafe looking intimate. And what did you message his family about? Anyways, he sounds controlling, and you sounded like you became someone you are not to be with him. Sorry. Which means he didn't love you as a person. Well done for leaving.
Yes.
OP, she told me that all those late night office hours and work trips was actually them spending time together. Sarcastic pediment says, best revenge is to live your best life, girl. Good luck.
Dang. So true. Just live your
Dang.
best life.
You have to.
Man,
You're going to have
he
to restart.
sucks.
And you will still find love. I bet
Yeah.
there's a bunch of men on Reddit that would love to talk to you.
Probably hitting you up already.
Yeah, they're like, oh, don't worry.
Oh, you want to go
Your
out?
job's not done yet.
Yeah. But
Oh.
you're gonna bounce back. You're gonna find a new job,
Yeah.
and you're gonna
Ugh.
kill it. But that's the end of that story. I canceled the family cruise because my family doesn't appreciate me.
Oh, ain't no cruise. You're cruising for a bruising now.
There we go.
So,
So my parents wanted to do a cruise for the holidays. They invited me, 25 female, my boyfriend, 27 male, my brother, 28 male, and his girlfriend, 26 female. My brother, let's call him James, has always been the golden child. Some backstory. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Vacay, and if you want to submit your stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. So back in high school, when James was discovered to be selling pills, he was just going through a phase. Meanwhile, when I got caught smoking weed, my parents threatened to kick me out. James lost his scholarship and dropped out of college 3 different times, but he's still perfect. I graduated a semester late and I didn't try hard enough. James still lives in the state where he attended college, and I live in my home state near my parents. He doesn't work. He's not currently in school. My parents buy him flights all the time to come visit, but don't buy me a flight to go see him or go anywhere else. My parents send him money for rent and life necessities. He bought a $2,000 dog recently with that money. When I got my first big job at age 22, my parents immediately kicked me off their insurance since I had the option of benefits. James was on their insurance until he turned 26, which is when, that's what, if you can stay on the insurance, might as well. Last year, I got laid off and moved back in with my parents to save money. When I got my new job, my parents told me I needed to pay $10,000 in back rent.
whoa.
Whoa! Which was
okay.
never discussed previously. I did finish paying it off and recently moved in with my boyfriend. This has been a pattern my whole life. James gets everything handed to him, and I have to work my butt off. So now to the cruise. My parents said they wanted to do this and bought tickets for themselves, James, and his girlfriend. They told me to get my own tickets since I have a well-paying job. I was super upset and told them it wasn't fair that I was the only one who had to buy their own ticket. My boyfriend couldn't come due to holiday plans with his own family. My parents said I was acting spoiled and that green wasn't a good look on me. I am so tired of hearing that phrase at this point. They said it's not like I had to get a nice room since we'd be outside it the majority of the time anyway, which is true, but then why get James a nice room? I decided I had enough and I wasn't going. But here's where I may be the a-hole.
I always love that
Yes,
phrase.
maybe I did something wrong. I let them continue thinking I was for months. Then on the night before they left, they said to get to their house by 8 a.m. so we could start the drive to the port. At 8:30 that day, they start messaging me asking where I am. Ooh. I texted them, since you didn't want to put the effort in to have me join you, I will be attending my boyfriend's Thanksgiving instead. Have a nice trip with your favorite child. Then I muted the chat. Mic drop. Dang, man. I talked to some friends about this, and some said it was petty of me to cancel with no warning. And others said I should have sucked it up and gone since I would have had fun when I got there. They've been on the cruise for a couple days now, and I'm starting to regret how I handled things. Yeah, I probably would have had fun, and it's not like I couldn't afford the ticket. I also could have handled the delivery better. But at the same time, I'm so sick of them treating me like this. So am I the a-hole for canceling on our family vacation?
No.
But there is an update. Obviously, I'll start with the 10K in back rent. To me, the number itself wasn't the issue. I mean, yeah, it's definitely a bit higher than I would have liked, but not completely unreasonable. For the amount of time I lived there, it's not like I would have been able to rent my own place at a cheaper price. And if I hadn't moved in with them, I would have completely depleted my savings and probably gone into debt.
I'm wondering now, did the parents need that money for something? You know, or were
Possibly.
they like, ooh, like we want that 10K so we can
Spend it on your brother.
Yeah, so we can take your brother to the moon.
Yeah. While I was laid off and looking for a new job in my field, I had a serving job and did some freelance writing work as well. So I was contributing to groceries but not paying rent or utilities. Because of that, I understood why my parents wanted help once I was in a position to do so. I just wish they had defined that expectation from the beginning instead of springing it on me as a surprise. I paid it because I know it was an inconvenience for my parents to have me stay so long, especially during some home renovations. I know it would have turned into a whole big issue, and it just felt easier to pay the money. Yes, I probably have some pushover tendencies that I need to address. Luckily, I'm in a well-paying field. I'm a technical writer, so once I got my new position, I was able to pay my parents back in about 6 months while also saving up to move out. That's impressive. The timeline for anyone curious is I was laid off in January of last year. I used my savings to pay rent until my lease was up in June, and then I moved in with my parents. I lived with my parents from June of last year till September of this year. When I moved in with my boyfriend, I got my current job in May, which is when my parents told me that they wanted back rent and rent moving forward until I moved out. They said it was to help motivate me to get back on my feet. So not all of it was back rent technically, but I just used that term to try and be more concise.
See, now I'd be okay with that if they were just upfront.
Yeah.
But then they try to do this is actually just to motivate you.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's not.
No, it's because you want the money.
Right.
By the time I moved out, the total amount I owed had added up to the 10K, and I had already paid off most of it. I also saw a couple of comments about pursuing legal action against my parents, but I don't think that's worth it or even possible.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's a lot. I
Not
mean, it's
worth
going to
it.
cost you more money.
And it's going to make everything stickier, and
Yeah.
it's going to make everything messier.
Sticky situation.
Yeah.
We never had a written contract, and I didn't argue against paying it. I didn't want them to be able to hold that over me. Going through any legal issue would just dredge the whole thing up again, and I'd rather not do that. It's paid now, so at least it's over with. In the future, I know I should probably be less willing to give in to their demands. It's just difficult when things have been this way my whole life, and my experiences have shown me that any refusal paints me as ungrateful in their eyes. I try so hard to be perfect because I just want them to treat me with the same care and support as they do with James. The worst part is James and I were super close growing up. When we were kids, we hung out all the time. He was the one who taught me how to ride a bike. He stood up for me when I was getting bullied. I don't think he's a bad person at all. He just never learned to stand on his own 2 feet. Our relationship is strained now because he doesn't get why I have issues with our parents. I miss the brother I would stay up playing RuneScape with. I'm pretty sure he fully buys into the idea that he needs extra help since he's always gotten it. He doesn't know how to do or expect anything else. At least he's still nice to me, but he just refuses to see the differences in how we're treated. And he basically wants me to just suck it up and be part of the family.
Dang.
Sadly, all his support just disappeared once it came to issues with our parents. I hope James gets some distance from them one day and we can reconnect. I don't want our relationship to keep suffering because of this.
Yeah.
Sorry to get sappy for a second, but back to the comments. Another thing I saw some people ask is why I didn't tell them sooner that I was canceling. I know that was a petty move on my part, but had I told them earlier, they would have spent those months trying to convince me to go and insulting me if I continued to refuse. It seemed like such a hassle, and the way I did it was much easier. And yeah, maybe this is crappy of me, but I did get some satisfaction out of it. It felt good to treat them at the same level they treat me.
It's fair. We're all human.
Yeah.
We're only human.
We're only human.
Yeah.
Besides, it's not like it actually affected their trip. They still went just without me.
Right. Exactly.
Many of the comments brought up the idea of going low contact or no contact with my family, and it is something I've now been considering. My boyfriend is supportive of this decision since he has seen firsthand how my parents are. I'm sure my friends will be supportive as well if I explain the full story. Most of them have never met my parents, and I've tried not to get into the whole family dynamic with my friends since it's depressing for me to talk about, and I also didn't want to come off as just whining all the time. Prior to this, they've only heard some small complaints here and there. With all of that out of the way, here's what happened since my last post.
Damn.
Bang, man.
Wow.
We haven't even
OP
gotten
is
to the new stuff.
Thorough.
Yeah. Well, before we get into what happened, I just want to say it's kind of sad because it seems like OP and her brother do have a good relationship. It's just the way that the parents treat everyone is what's kind of driving this wedge between them.
Parents are failing.
Yeah. My boyfriend and I got to the cabin late Wednesday night. I gave his mother a bouquet of her favorite flowers and she loved them. We had a quick glass of wine while talking with his family before heading to bed. I was still a bit uncertain of my decision, so I probably wasn't as peppy as usual, but they didn't seem to mind. That night, I made a promise to myself that I would put my own family issues aside during the trip and just focus on having a good time with my boyfriend's family, who has always been so gracious to me. On Thursday, we woke up early and helped his mom with some preparation for the food and set the table. After, we played some cornhole with his cousins and sadly lost due to my complete lack of athletic ability. Bummer. The Thanksgiving meal itself was delicious, and his mom is such a great cook. Everyone was very sweet to me and made me feel so welcome as part of the family, which helped me feel much better about my decision to spend the holidays with them. Yeah, I mean, your parents would probably be like, you look so green, OP. Are you seasick or just jealous?
Yeah, it's just not a good dynamic you've got over there.
Yeah. Towards the end of the night, his mom even said to me that she knows it is ultimately up to my boyfriend, but she hopes I can join the family for real someday. I told her I would be honored if that happens, and we hugged. I really do hope it will. I love my boyfriend so much, and I want to spend the rest of my life with him. His family is also an incredible bonus. I had such a wonderful time on Thanksgiving and enjoyed the rest of the weekend as well. We went on some great hikes, hung around by the bonfire, played board games, and watched movies. My boyfriend also spent some time looking after his little nephew, and watching them play Legos together definitely gave me some slight baby fever. Cute. Though that is not something I want to act on for at least a couple years. That's like the ongoing, I don't know, that's my thing. I'm like, they're so cute. I don't want a baby right now, but they're adorable.
They're so cute. I just want a loner though.
I just want a loner. Give me one for a day, maybe a week.
Let me send it and then I'll give it back.
I'll give it right back.
Back to the factory.
Yeah. We got back yesterday afternoon, and I am already missing everything. It was genuinely a blast, and there was no family drama, which made my family seem like even more of a mess. Dang. I feel like I'm rambling a bit now. Honestly, I probably have been the whole time, but I'm just so excited to share what a good time I had during the holiday and that I definitely made the right decision. Unfortunately, this update isn't entirely positive. Dang. I wish it could be. Me too.
Dang.
So close. My parents reached out last night and they still weren't happy about my choice.
Well, of course they aren't. They're never happy about anything that you do.
They
unless
don't
it's you
like
giving
you.
them money.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're giving them $10K, they might be kind of at a baseline happiness.
Yeah, they're like,
they were like, all right, you did okay, I guess.
We finally just feel average now.
I guess the sea air and unlimited drinks didn't do enough to relax them. My dad sent a passive-aggressive text of cruise pictures with a message that said, "Sad that you chose not to be with your family in such beautiful places." And I sent back a picture from my trip with my boyfriend's family and said, "Looks like you guys had a good time. So did we." Then my mom called and said she hoped I regretted missing out on a great family vacation and spoiling their memory due to a petty grudge against my brother.
What?
See, they're even creating this grudge.
Yeah,
that doesn't exist.
They're blaming you for everything, even when you weren't on the trip.
Yeah.
They're like, you ruined the trip.
But also,
I wasn't even there.
Yeah, and OP doesn't have a grudge against her brother. I feel like they're making this thing up.
Yeah,
they're the ones
grudge is
who are
against y'all.
you guys. I told her my issue wasn't with James, there we go, but rather their unfair preferential treatment between the two of us. My mom said that I was the one being unfair by comparing our situations since James needs help while he figures out his direction in life, and I've always been much more independent. I told her the only reason that's true is because they never allowed me to depend on them. She said she wasn't going to apologize for raising a self-sufficient daughter, and that I should either grow up and be grateful for everything they've done, or leave them alone for good and break their hearts all at once instead of doing it piece by piece.
That's so ridiculous. ridiculous, dude.
She called me cruel for dangling the hope of a wonderful holiday only to snatch it away at the last second, even though they seemed to be just fine without me there based on the photos my dad sent and what they posted on social media.
Exactly.
They don't care. They just want to make you feel bad.
Well,
That's the goal.
yeah, you're not the cornerstone of their ability to enjoy a cruise.
I was really upset by this point and pointed out multiple examples of how they prioritize James, just hoping I could finally make her understand how growing up like this has affected me. My mom said I had a lot of nerve to put their parenting under a microscope when I have no children myself, and I've never had to make tough decisions. I had enough of the conversation and said, I guess I'll just leave you guys alone like you want, since I'll never be enough for this family anyway. I hung up and started crying, but my boyfriend was really supportive as always, and we spent the rest of the night eating ice cream and watching The Hunger Games to cheer me up. I freaking love The Hunger Games.
I volunteer.
I freaking love that movie.
volunteer.
That whole series, that series is such a well done adaptation. Anyway, I absolutely love the series, and I'm so excited for Hamish's movie to come out. It was weird to go back to work today after everything and act like nothing was the matter, but I think it was also a good distraction. Since I chose my boyfriend's holiday plans instead of my family's, I actually came back feeling mostly refreshed, besides the events of last night, instead of drained like I most likely would have been after the cruise. I haven't heard anything more from my parents yet, but I have a feeling they're just bluffing. I'm sure once they need something, they'll reach out, or they'll probably try and smooth things over by Christmas, so they don't have to explain the situation to our extended family. I haven't decided yet if I'll be open to reconciling. On one hand, I know I deserve better than to be treated as a burden and an afterthought while doing so much for them. I'm tired of trying to live up to their expectations, and I'm not optimistic about their behavior ever changing. But on the other hand, they are my family, and it's just so difficult to fully walk away. I just want to feel the love and acceptance from my own family that I get from my boyfriend's family. Why is it so hard for them to treat me like I matter? Because they're bad parents. At the end of the day, they're
So
bad
complicated,
parents. And that's not your fault. And they're going to make you feel like it's your fault. But at the end of the day, it is not. I'm also worried that if I don't make nice with them, they'll twist the story to make me seem like the problem. And my extended family will be mad at me too. They definitely are going to do that. For sure.
Yeah.
There are people I like within my family, but my parents have a lot of influence over everyone's opinions. I don't know if it's worth putting up with them to at least keep some ties to my family, or if it would be better to accept the loss and move on from a dynamic where I am clearly not appreciated. I want to keep my brother at least, but maybe I'm just holding on to the past and that version of James doesn't exist anymore. I hope that's not true. I just don't know how to get through to him since he's so brainwashed by my parents and thinks they can do no wrong. I'm not sure if I'll ever truly get my brother back.
Damn, you should tell him like a lot of the stuff that you've said in this post.
Yes.
Verbatim.
Have him just read the post.
And yeah.
But I know you guys can do no wrong, so you should listen to more episodes of stories like this. Just go on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit more, but do you have any final thoughts? Because I've got some final thoughts.
My final thoughts were, I know you said to show him this post. I wouldn't. And the only reason is because I think it's going to activate his defenses.
Yeah.
Because you're talking so much about the parents, and it really seems like that's where you guys
he's really loves
are
his
not
parents.
on the same page.
Yeah.
He's always defending them because they always defend him. So you really need to come at it more of like an angle of like, this is just coming from a place of care about you and your well-being and your independence. It's like you kind of have to just have that, hey, I'm only going to have this conversation with you once. I'm going to sit you down and have it. I think you need to get away and get independent. Take this information, do with it what you want. But I want my brother back. I feel like I don't have you anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got some big things to think about now, and I don't know if I'm ready to make sure a major change to my life. I do believe I'd feel much freer and lighter if I at least distance myself from them and maybe even cut contact entirely. I guess I'll just have to see what happens. I'm sure I already know the answer to this, but is it stupid to still hold out hope that things can work out?
I mean,
I don't think it's stupid. I think
No.
it's hope
People
that you can
like,
have your family in your life
Yeah, you can go no contact or low contact right now, and it's like
and change your mind later.
things might like people. My mom told me this when I was growing up, and it's like friendships, like losing friendships or whatever, and I'm like all upset about it, and she's like, you never really have to be that upset, because it's like people can go like people. Sometimes people in life are like lined up and they're in the same place, and then they'll go like that, and then sometimes they just go like that forever, but then sometimes they can come back and line up, and you'll be back in each other's lives. Like, there's no telling. So it's just having the open-mindedness to move forward and you never know.
And allow possibility, whatever
Mhm.
possibilities are going to happen in the future. But just knowing that you're prioritizing yourself.
Yeah. And I think clearly what would help the family the most is like there needs to be some professional,
Absolutely. Need
a
some family
mediator
therapy.
there, a therapist. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My friend took advantage of my kindness until I finally had enough.
I had it up to here, but once it got to there, I had enough.
I knew this guy from primary school. Let's call him David. Obviously a fake name. We all got along well. We would hang out, chat, the typical type a friend thinks. But when his family moved away, we lost contact with each other. By the way, this comes from True Madness on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, skip forward many years. And I am living with myself in my first rental unit. A small one bedroom. This plays into the story. And one day I was grabbing some food and I walk into David. And I do mean walk into him. I see him and he sees me. It was like no time had passed and we're back to catching up, exchanging numbers, catching up, and we begin to hang out once more. Things are going great until it didn't.
Ain't that just the way it goes?
I get a
Ain't
call
that
from
just the
him
way-
and he's clearly upset at his mother, which he was staying with was him out. He needed a place to stay or to crash, so I offered my couch. The deal was simple. He would stay until he got under his feet underneath him, but until that time, he would give me $50 a fortnight towards food. He agreed to the terms and moved in. The thing is, the first month or so was going great. He paid on time, kept to himself, kept his music to a reasonable level, and would ask for small things, and me trying to be a good host would at times would get it. He would even tell me a week in advance if he was going anywhere. Even went halves on a PlayStation 2. Yep, that's how far back it was. Dang, dude. I remember when I got a PlayStation 2. My brother and I went halves on it. Dude, poor memory.
I also remember when I tricked my parents into getting me a PlayStation 2 because they like didn't want me to have a system that could play like mature games. And I was like, they made this one that you can't play those games on there.
The first game I played was Lego Star Wars.
Oh. That was the first game you played?
On the PlayStation 2, yeah.
Oh.
Anyways, and things changed. Slowly, he started paying less. His music got louder. Slowly, he starts to take over my place. The weeks advance become days. His requests from can I to I want soon stopped paying me altogether. His music got so loud, I got an official complaint from the real estate that I was renting through. His wants become demands. He stopped giving me advance, just telling me hours before, and be longer than he claimed. All while he's coming back with new clothes, new shoes, and stated he doesn't have any money, but would give me gifts like a shirt of a favorite band of mine, but that was too small for me, but would fit him like a charm. Oh boy. And here I am paying for food for two, paying electricity for two, and he's not putting a cent to it.
You know what I find when people are like, I don't have any money? It's because they keep spending it on.
Yo.
You keep spending your money on. That's why you don't have any. Stop it.
His mother and mine tried to convince me to get rid of him. Seeing what he was doing to me, I defended him. Yes, I'm an idiot, I know. The thing is, he always played the victim, the whole, oh, woe is me type. You know how those are. Oh, I can't find a place. Oh, I can't find a job. Oh, nobody gets me. Nobody understands. It's probably why his mom. No. He just witches and moans all day while sitting on his butt, listening to music of people wanting to hurt themselves. Yeah, he was into that type. The final straw came around Christmas. At this time, my mother lived in a different town than I was and was going to spend Christmas by herself. I was not going to let that happen, so I planned to spend the Christmas with her. And for 2 months, I was telling David about it, reminding him to be sure that nothing got planned for that week. He would assure me that he had nothing. Every week, I would do this, remind him, and he would still give me that, I got it, gah, response. 3 days before I needed to go, David tells me he is going the week to another town to spend the week with his friends. I was mad. Me. I've been telling you for weeks that I'm going to be out of town. Why did you do this? When this did happen?
Last week.
You didn't think to tell me until now? David goes on his woe is me tour once more.
No, I didn't. I didn't think about that. And it really sucks and it hurts me more than you. So stop it.
Me grinding my teeth. When are you going?
Thursday.
A day before I get to leave. Me. And when are you coming back?
Wednesday.
The day before I get back. I moan loudly.
Oh, damn it, we both did it.
Oh man,
Dude, that
it's actually better. It's actually better because they can't take our moans and like use it against us.
crazy.
It almost sounded like this just one sound, and you guys made identical noises, so the waveforms stacked up and just amplified each
Yo,
other.
you literally said, I
crazy.
want to look good for my girl. Does that.
My God. That was a beautiful moment, fellas.
Me. Fine. Here's my key. My only key. You better be back on Wednesday, so help me, Lord above Almighty.
Yeah.
The week with my mother went great. And eventually, I get back on Wednesday. A day before I was meant, I go home. Door's locked. Okay, he must be down the street or something. I go to my real estate and ask for the spare key, making some excuse. The day comes and goes. David is a no-show. Okay, he must be away. He doesn't know I wouldn't be back until tomorrow, so I guess he figured I'd stay
he's
longer.
going crazy right now. Like, I can hear the frantic, like,
Thursday, no show. Friday, no show. Saturday, Sunday, no show. You get the idea. A week goes by and still nothing. 2 weeks, nothing. 3 weeks and still nothing. No calls, no texts, nothing. I would have taken a smoke signal at the time. I was done, just done. I took all his and just threw it out, all his more valuable things, as he still owed me. The next day, I just put it all in his junk in the bin. That day was a good day. Honestly, I was about to be like, when are you gonna take his stuff out? If he said, hey, I'm gonna be gone for a week after I told him multiple times, don't be gone that week, I'd be like, great, also take your stuff with you because you're not coming back.
Yeah, you could probably preemptively tell him to take his stuff with him, but also, is there no level of concern whatsoever? It's like, did we reach out at all? Like,
Ali says change the locks.
Is he okay?
Would we change the locks?
Yeah, change the
disappeared.
locks.
But yeah, I agree with Dakota
If
too.
you're
Like,
done, you're done. Like,
Yeah,
this guy leaving that week shows that he's completely thoughtless and careless about you.
Also-
and you guys, but
Also, checking
is
up
he?
because the music, he was listening to music that would want to harm oneself. You know, I mean, some people it's not really anything, but if that's something like a thought maybe he's going through or he's putting himself in dangerous situations.
I don't know. He's like, I just got out there. Me and the boys are having a great time. So
I
he
don't know.
stayed another 3 weeks.
I don't know. All right. The next day, I wake up to go to the kitchen to have my coffee. I turn and who is on my couch? Sleeping mother effing David.
Twist of the century right there.
With brand new dyed hairstyle, new clothes, brand name, new shoes, brand name, and my key on the coffee table. To go back, I was pissed. I went outside and I called my mother asking for advice. She just simply tells me, just let him go. I'll go back inside, he's awake, and I let him have it.
We're there for you! No calls, no text, nothing!
I just had some rage.
Nice.
I had to get out. I just went off on him while he was sitting there with the whole, how dare you talk to me that way, look, which is only fueling the rage I had. I just let him all out, every little and major thing. The lies, the BS, everything. I laid it all out on the table after vented and I had my say. I asked if he has anything to say about himself and he goes into his classic woe is me spill.
I didn't have any credit.
You could have asked your friends to use their phone. Credit, I know for our younger listeners, credit means you had to buy minutes on your cell phone and he didn't have any minutes on his phone because back in the day you had to pay for minutes to call people.
Yeah, my battery, I don't know.
It's called a charger. Every excuse he gives, I shoot it down hard. He got nothing but excuses. No apologies. No form of taking any responsibilities. Nothing. But the same crap I've had heard a million times. I was done.
You know I don't have to put up with you. My friends have offered that I can stay with them for free.
Good! Go leech on them, in fact. I'll give him a 20. I don't know why. I just wanted him out of there. Here, go take it and just go.
Oh, dude, sweet. Yeah, peace.
I thought that by the end of it, God only knows how wrong I am.
He goes to his bros and he's like, dude, she paid me $20 to break up with her.
Yo.
Crazy, dude.
I had to break up with her.
She paid me $20 to leave.
dude, single and $20?
Dude, I'm about to go buy minutes for my phone.
I can actually call you guys now. About a couple of weeks later, I got a call from a mobile number that I didn't recognize. So I answer it. Hello?
Oh, hey, dude. Listen, I was wondering if you could pay me out for that PlayStation.
No.
Well, how come?
Because you owe me money.
Okay, how about I pay you out and then you send me the PlayStation?
No, you owe me money.
What
We
does
do
that
this.
mean?
We do this for minutes until finally I get another voice. I guess David's friends. His friend explained how David explained to them how he didn't owe me any money. I explained the deal that we had, how he was nothing more than a leech, and then he would do the same to him. Eventually, we come to an agreement. If they want the PlayStation, he needed to do the following: pay what he owed and pay me out. He tells me he will get back with me. They never did. In mind, he forfeited his ownership of it, and it was mine afterwards. I later sold it to get a PlayStation 3.
Upgrades, people. Upgrades.
With the power of it in hindsight, he didn't ask about anything else. Not about his clothes, his stereo, nothing. Just the PlayStation. Clearly, I know where his mindset was. Months go by without another word. I come across his mother, who we are still on good terms with, even to this day. I ask, how are things? How things were going? And she tells me she's sickened to the core. David got a girl pregnant and did a bolt.
Oh. No. Oh my
Smash
God.
and dash?
The guy who runs from all his responsibilities ran from more responsibility. Ran from what might be considered the responsibility. Crazy.
And she had the kid and hasn't met her first grandkid yet. She eventually did, thank the goodness. David tried to contact me twice, no doubt trying to get in my good graces again. He tried to do it first with my sister. I told her to block his butt. He tried to book a face. I blocked him within seconds. Burn a bridge with me. The thing is charcoal. By the way, don't burn bridges with us. Please go to our podcast. Please. Search up OK Storytime on your favorite podcast platform, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, wherever you listen to. And we're there with stories as crazy as this one. So please give us a chance. Please don't burn the bridge. Build it. And yeah, I would have left this fool like the second he wasn't paying. Last I heard of him, he was crashing on someone else's place. Still blaming the world, still being a worthless dead waste of space. What makes it bad is that after him, I had a serious distrust to any of my friends coming around or even staying even for a night. Oh, I was so guarded, so distrusting because of one bad experience, but time is a good healer, and that wall has crumbled somewhat. I still have some issues to get through, trust, but I'm working through it. Anyways, I just needed to let this one out. Thanks for everyone for reading it this far.
Yeah, sometimes we allow people to stay in our lives inexplicably almost when it's quite clear that they are no help, nothing really but just a negative force in our lives, and you're more than welcome to cut those people off. I'm upset with my husband because he always ruins my birthday plans.
He's a hater and he needs to get out.
Hey, you heard it here first, folks.
That's all I have to say about that.
Long story short, I, 34 female, am low on paid time off at a newish job that I started in February. Stepson got married in August, and a lot of my paid time off was used for this, as well as a few mental health days and a few sick days over the course of the year with good reason. And by the way, this comes from user Buffalo Cheddar Biscuit on the r/OK Storytime subreddit, where you can submit your stories. So, my boss has already said that they can't make exceptions based on my circumstances when it comes to attendance. They know my stepson has a brain tumor and stepdaughter has kidney issues, as I have had to use sick time to take stepdaughter to the hospital. Dang.
And they can't make exceptions? There's not like a excused absence kind of thing?
Yeah, I don't know. That sounds a little extreme to be like, we can't make an exception for your son's brain tumor.
No, I had a lot of doctor's visits and
I am genuinely loving the job most days, and so far, despite the attendance, my work seems to like me, and my background does well. I come from a quality background in aerospace and metal shops. This is a corporate inspector for a jewelry retailer, so fancier metals, similar principles of manufacture, but different processes to get to final goods. Stepdaughter is 21 female, stepson is 24 male, and husband is 44 male. A couple of weeks after getting back from stepson's wedding, stepdaughter called and talked to husband and I about a business trip in October to Vegas. She is afraid to go alone to a conference, and I can't blame her. She's very fit, but she has a very small frame. She looks young, and she sometimes gets hassled for this. A couple of weeks ago, she had a fender bender while alone, and the other driver was very aggressive, trying to intimidate her, and it's left her a little shaken. Stepdaughter wanted her father and or I to accompany her on her business trip, her first being far away, because she didn't want to be alone in such a large city. Immediately after the call, I told my husband that I thought they should go together. He's been feeling more distant from his daughter, and she is in the throes of adulthood and has a boyfriend, school, and her job. She is very busy and works very hard. I thought it was a great time to bond. Husband was adamant that we both go. Fast forward to this week. I put in my paid time off, but found out it's a longer stay than we were originally told. And I have also been asking this week to book tickets with husband, but he's been getting home late after 7 p.m., doesn't come inside from the garage until after 9 and takes a long shower.
Suspicious.
What is he doing in the garage for 2 hours? He got projects in there?
Suspicious.
Hey, I got projects in my garage.
I'm doing things in the garage, and you're doing for 2 hours.
I'm
and take a
building up to
long
my
shower.
2 hours of jetpack time in the garage.
Yeah. Something's going on in that garage.
I am a sleepy gal, so I'm usually asleep by the time he gets out of the shower. I'm writing this at 3 a.m. because my husband just told me he doesn't intend on going. He thinks we should use this opportunity to bond, which would be nice if our relationship was in need of more bonding.
Yeah, OP's like, I've already bonded
Yeah.
with her. You bond with your daughter.
Exactly. OP says that my stepdaughter and I are tight.
Yeah.
Tight.
Toy.
Like,
We're like this.
I don't want to leave her in a large city where she's going to be afraid by herself. I've also never felt a desire to go to Vegas. I hate large cities, and the only reason I wanted to go was because my husband has friends out there that I wanted to meet in person, and to go on a few desert hikes with hubby while stepdaughter was doing work stuff during the day. It is a huge opportunity for stepdaughter's career. I also barely drink and don't gamble or go shopping. While I like food, I don't have the budget for the better restaurants. I told him I wasn't comfortable that he made this decision, and I don't have enough paid time off to cover all the days. And I was angry that he made the decision without consulting me. He started getting heated, saying he didn't do anything wrong. But you kind of did.
You kind of did. Just go spend time with your daughter, dude.
Another factor, my birthday is 4 days before the trip. My husband has a history of either awful gifts or no gifts, and I get very anxious in the days leading up to my birthday because hubby always picks a fight because he either didn't plan anything and feels guilty, or he calls me ungrateful. This guy sounds like a keeper. A few memorable birthdays include painting my car, which sounds nice in theory, but husband painted it himself with a very fancy professional paint system. 3-stage paint with base color catalyst and blue sparkle additive. Hubby is not professionally trained, however, and the car that was supposed to be a dark blue ended up with legit rag marks in the paint and deep scratches, varying degrees of sparkle. Some areas had a ton, some had none, and you could see the old silver paint through the blue. It ended up terribly orange peeled, and it was a laughing matter at my work. I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt while he was doing it, and then found out that was the gift when my birthday rolled around, and asked if there was a plan. He said my car was the only plan. I was angry as this destroyed the value of my car. I hadn't even indicated that I wanted my car painted, and he went ahead and started, so I couldn't tell him no. He confirmed this the day he started painting, that he started, so I couldn't say no. Literally from the horse's mouth. This guy is self-centered.
I don't like this guy, OP, and you're one of our family, and I don't want you to be treated this way. You deserve someone who cares about your birthday.
About him.
Yeah, and he's making you take, I mean, like, even if you have a close relationship with his daughter, like, with your stepdaughter, it's still not okay for him to just kind of, like, put the whole trip on you. And also, I mean, it seems like there's going to be a lot of time where you're kind of by yourself because she's working.
2 years ago, he got me no gifts. Not the first time of no gifts, but this time was memorable because of the following. He asked me where I wanted to go, and I said my favorite sushi restaurant in the city, which is about a 20-minute drive, because I had just discovered it and really loved the cucumber salad. To this day, they know me as the cucumber salad girl, and the chef always puts out extra.
That's incredibly cute.
Yeah. Oh, it's
the cucumber
salad girl. Come here, come. Husband then takes me to a random sushi restaurant in our town that had just opened because he wanted to try it and thought it was a nicer restaurant than my favorite.
It's not your birthday.
He picked a fight with me about me being ungrateful because I didn't want to eat at another sushi restaurant on my birthday and I wanted to eat at my favorite. He went outside to cool down and I quietly cried at the table.
I've been freaking watching listening to the last 5 years album. This is that.
The owner of the other sushi restaurant brought me a birthday daikon radish dish that was covered in cinnamon and sugar because I had no birthday cake. The owner was super sweet and got me to stop crying. And to note, this was the year I told my husband, I'm done planning my own birthdays. I told him in advance because I was tired of planning my own celebrations and cooking the meal and cleaning the house and that he could figure it out. This was the celebration that he planned. No family was invited or even asked to come. Last year, I left town to visit my half-sisters. First time meeting them in person. They're twins. They were born 12 years before me, but birthdays were 2 days apart. Husband had been upset I was leaving town for my birthday, and I pointed out that I was trying to avoid the usual blow-up, and he never planned anything. He still blew up because I was running away, and he was worried I might not come back.
Treat her right.
Yeah,
Maybe treat her better and she'll come back.
Maybe think about why you'd
wouldn't
be
she come
worried
back?
about that and then take steps to address it. I told him that his reactions were why I wanted to celebrate away from him because I wanted a nice birthday for once. No gift, but he did send me a Venmo for the trip, and I accepted that this was an improvement. 4 years ago, I had planned my own birthday party. Did the cooking and cleaning things. Sister-in-law brought me cupcakes. Mother-in-law bought me some very nice jewelry, and I was happy. Hubby got nothing. And when everyone asked what he got me, I admitted nothing. After the party, he was upset and picked a fight. I stood my ground that if he felt bad for not getting a gift, then he should have gotten me a gift. Are you a fool? Whoa. You know the song Where Is My Mind by the Pixies? He doesn't get to be mad at me because he didn't get me a gift, and I wouldn't lie to his family. He admitted he had wanted to get me the jewelry, and when he saw his mom had actually gotten me some, he was upset.
I'm sorry, you want it? Want it isn't doing. Oh, I thought about it. Who cares?
This isn't middle school. It's not like, oh my God, I can't believe I wore the same outfit as that other person. It's like you can get her jewelry as well.
We aren't in your mind palace. Your thoughts don't actually form into physical objects.
Nice.
Thanks.
He told me that he was upset and that it's the thought that counts. I told him that applies to when you get a gift and it's not the best fit for the recipient, not because you thought about getting a gift and decided not to.
Yeah.
I joked that I was thinking about getting him a trip to Paris for Christmas, and since I told him I didn't have to get him anything for Christmas or the trip. Yeah.
Throw it right in his face.
Yeah, throw that stinky, illogical nonsense back on his plate.
Yeah.
He was mad at that one for a while and was upset that I might not get him Christmas gifts. Dude, oh my God.
You're not going to give me a Christmas gift? I'm not going to get you a Christmas gift, but you're not going to give me a Christmas gift? Who cares?
By the way, I want to teach you something, which is that you can listen to full episodes with stories like this. All you got to do is go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts from and search OK Storytime. So this brings me to this year. I just had a conversation while typing this out with husband about admitting he wasn't going to Vegas. He admitted it was a test because he wanted to see my reaction. Ugh. I told him that is a red flag. Yeah, exactly. And that these kinds of tests are designed for me to fail. It removes any possibility of communicating. And while he was angry, I had told him I was angry with him. I wasn't okay with his manipulative behavior. I don't feel safe going to Vegas, nor have I ever wanted to go there, let alone with the added responsibility of parenthood. He said it was an honor he was trusting me with going with his daughter. I told him it's a responsibility and making decisions without me, and that it's unfair to test me like that. So am I the a-hole? Things took a weird turn, and yes, I'm aware my husband is coming across as very toxic. He can be, but this is a frustrating moment and description while I am upset and frustrated. I'm very
You're not
concerned
the
with
a-hole.
your husband's behavior.
I am also really concerned with your husband's behavior. I don't like it. And I think the fact that, like, we haven't heard all of the other stuff in your relationship. We're only going off what you've given us.
Yes.
Which you should kind of take that in and be like, why did I only write?
My father crashed my car and left me to deal with it.
He's just like, I'm going to go to the hospital. You go ahead and just take care of this. He just disappears.
Just walking off.
They
Go
find
away.
him in Tijuana.
I, 21 male, have been living at my parents' house due to recent life events. We have a pretty good relationship, but of course we have our moments. Well, about a week ago, my mom was at work and my dad needed to run by the store. He couldn't wait until my mom got back, so he asked to borrow my car. I agreed to let him have it as I didn't have anything I needed to do right then. By the way, this comes from OKSKD. If you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Well, about 40 minutes later, I get a call from him saying that he had been in an accident. Of course, that scared the crap out of me, and I made sure that he was okay first. He said that he was fine and explained the accident. Long story short, he ran a stop sign and smacked straight ahead into another vehicle. Luckily, no one got seriously injured, except my car. It's busted up pretty bad. Without going into much detail, the bumper, headlights, hood, and parts of the engine are all messed up.
Oof, that's really bad.
Sounds like it's totaled to me.
Yeah, you have engine damage from a bump.
Yeah.
That wasn't a bump. That was a smash.
That's a smash. I got my car in the shop and I'm still waiting on the estimated time it will take for me to get it back. Until then, though, I need a car to get to and from work. And that's where the problem is. See, me and my mom have different work schedules, but similar enough to where I could see us working something out. She usually goes in an hour earlier than me and gets off about 30 minutes before me. I figured I could drop her off, go to work, and then pick her up. Well, my mom hates the idea. She says that she doesn't want to have to rely on me to pick her up or get her to work on time.
Dang.
She said that since she wasn't involved in the accident, she shouldn't be affected by the consequences. Well, unfortunately, you do live in the same household as these people, so.
If you live in a place with public transportation, which is not everyone does,
Yeah.
that is the solution to this problem.
Yeah.
A lot of you, I'm astounded at the amount of people who are like, just refuse to take the bus with no other option.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I took the bus in my hometown, it'd be weird.
I was just thinking about that. Do they even have buses?
Again,
We do, but you have to walk to town to get to it.
A lot
It's like, might as
of
well just
places
walk to where you
don't
wanna go.
have very good
Yeah.
accessible public transportation, but if you have it, that's your solution right now.
Yeah. I told her it would just be until I got my car back, but she didn't care. I was expecting Dad to back me up, seeing as he's the reason I got into this mess, but instead he just agreed with her and said that I should find a different way. The problem is there is no different way. There's no good public transportation system in our town. We live about 45 minutes away from where I work.
Gotcha.
There's your answer.
Hey, it's like you read my mind.
Yeah, you like heard him talk to or something like that. My dad then suggested I bike to work, which I quickly shut down. I'd rather not have to bike all the way to and from work every day when we could literally just share a car.
Yeah, but think of how pumped up your calves would be.
Dude, you're gonna be so strong.
Your calves
though.
would be yoked.
Yoked, dude. I told them it was unfair for them not to let me use their car since Dad crashed mine. Then they said that I was just being ungrateful as they were already putting a roof over my head and I shouldn't expect much more from them. I have no idea where they even thought I was being ungrateful. All I'm saying is, why would I choose a harder, more time-consuming way to work when there is an easier option? Am I being unreasonable? I feel like at the least, Dad could convince Mom to let me use their car since this is his fault. But instead, he's just sitting there agreeing with everything she says. I would ask my siblings to chime in on this, but knowing them, they'll just agree with my parents. So am I the a-hole? We have some comments, but what do you think?
I don't think you're the a-hole, but
No.
I think, if depending on whatever the financial situation, if your mom's going to work and that money that she's making at work like contributes to keeping the house like your house, I think that you need to prioritize her getting to work.
I guess so.
You know, but there's also like a situation where she could probably make it work where it's
Yeah.
like we can both share the car.
Right.
So her being unreasonable after the dad literally like, not who knows if it's totaled, but the dad crashed the car.
Right.
And
It's
then,
hurt.
to pull like we put a roof over your head and you're asking too much. It's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that one of the bare minimums for having children is we shouldn't be homeless, right?
Yeah, that's like
Like-
legally what you have to provide.
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure whether we were here or not, you'd have a roof, right?
yeah.
Or you'd want one. So,
It could fit more than two people in there.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I think is crazy. It's like it's really not much that she's asking. Because on the one hand, OP has to walk or bike over an hour at this point. Because if it's 45 minutes in a car, it's going to be so much longer walking and biking.
Yeah.
Or the mom just like has to maybe risk being late sometimes. But that's not
Right.
even like guaranteed at all.
Right.
But there are some comments. Comment number 1 says, info. Do you pay for your own car insurance and upkeep on the car? Also, did you buy your car or did your parents? OP says, I bought the car and I pay for the insurance and any maintenance it needs. Comment number 2 says, not the a-hole. Your mom's objection is that she doesn't want to rely on you to get her to work on time. Ask her to take you to work and pick you up. Yes, you'll be inconvenienced by the earlier arrival time, but you will have arrived at work without having to take public transportation or ride a bike.
Boom.
Maybe you can start earlier and finish later, at least for the short term. Failing that, honestly, your father needs to own his errors here. He wrecked your car. He needs to get you to work while your car is being repaired. Maybe he's got a friend who owes him a big favor. Maybe one of your siblings can do him the favor of loaning you a car. Maybe he can come out of his pocket to pay for Ubers or a rental. Yeah. You have grounds to sue him as he created a problem that is impacting your ability to work. Your court case is the nuclear option though, and I wouldn't drop that bomb until I was already out of their house. Yeah, that's a big thing to go to.
Huge bomb. And I think this ignores that like a lot of some of these situations, just like it's the finances. It's like it's not feasible for me to go to court against my own father.
Yeah, I feel like if you're willing to go to court because of this whole thing, it's like, just don't go to work for the time that you don't have the car. That's the amount of money that you'll be spending.
Exactly. You're going to lose more money suing your dad. For
yeah, exactly.
Come on.
OP does respond to that comment saying, I brought up the idea of her dropping me off and picking me up. She says it will mess up her schedule and that she doesn't want to wake up any earlier than she has to. I feel like she's just unwilling to try to share the car.
That's true.
Yeah. Commenter number 3 says, this is insane. I hope your car at least is in your name so you have no trouble after getting it back. If not, make sure that he transfers the title and then take them off the insurance. It's not going to work, but I would first put it to them in terms of liability and use your mom's argument to justify your demands. If your mom's argument of not having been involved and therefore not needing to contribute anything is going to hold, then fair is fair. At minimum, you should be compensated use of a car to get to and from work or the cost of a rental and some form of monetary compensation for the increased premiums that will result from an at-fault moving violation and collision that was not your responsibility. We've got a lawyer on our hands, everyone. Even with the worst insurance, I have to expect that there's an increase of at least $50 a month on top of what you were paying previously. That's a good point. Insurance will go up from being in a crash like that.
Yeah.
Possibly more given your age. Insurance is very high for your age bracket. And then when that fails, I would remove the spark plugs from both of their cars and make them miss a day of work and see how they effing like it. How do they expect you to get money to move out if you lose your job? Soft brain narcs. Is the distance really accurate? 45 minutes by car is like 4 hours by bike. That's an insane thing to say unless there's a mistake there. OP responds, I didn't even realize that the bike ride would be 4 hours long. In my mind, when he said it, I thought it would take somewhere around 1 hour 30 minutes to 2 hours, which is still just an outrageous suggestion. But 4 hours is insane. I'm going to bring that up if he mentions that again, because there's no way he expects me to do 8 hours back and forth.
It's a full shift.
That's a full shift. Commenter number 4 says, this is a tough one. Dad should obviously step up and take care of this. Why isn't the insurance covering a rental while yours is in the shop? Oh, I didn't know that was a
not
thing.
Every insurance policy has that.
Yeah. Are you living rent-free at your parents'? Not the a-hole. OP responds, I'm allowed to live with them rent-free as long as I'm saving money in order to move out again. I do buy my own groceries and help with the bills though, so it's not like I'm totally living off of them. As far as the rental car goes, apparently that's not something I chose to add to my plan. So something stupid on my part. But we do have an update. Let's just jump right in, shall we?
Do a swan dive right into that.
For a little backstory, I've 21 male had been living with my parents due to some recent life events. About a month ago, I made a post here talking about how my dad crashed my car and my mom refused to let me use theirs for my commute to work. Long story short, my parents ended up paying for the expenses to have my car fixed. We did also end up sharing a car until I had mine back. Good. Thank you for finally being smart. After that, I thought it was done and over. My mom made a comment about it here and there, but it didn't seem to seriously bother her until about a week and a half ago. She demanded that I pay them all the money from my car expenses back. She said that it wasn't fair that she lost money due to an accident that she didn't cause. And I think that's fair, but I reminded her that I didn't cause it either. Dad caused the accident, and I told her I'm sorry that it ended up affecting her as well. But that didn't change the fact that my car had to be fixed and it was Dad's responsibility.
Yeah, well, because he ran the stop sign.
Yeah,
Sorry,
absolutely.
Pistachio. Ran the stop sign.
Absolutely.
Ran the stop sign, it's his fault.
She got really mad at that and started on a rant about how it was unfair and I was using them for money. And what was my dad's response to all of this? He just agreed with her. I ended up just telling her what I've already said because there was honestly nothing else to say. She's been very upset with me since then, but she never mentioned any possibility of punting me out. So imagine my surprise a couple days ago when I came home to all of my stuff being outside of the house in boxes, literally on the curb.
Dang. That's
Wow.
next level buffoonery
Yes.
from these parents.
Oh my gosh.
They got in an accident in your car
Yeah.
for no reason other than the dad was impatient.
Yes.
And now all of a sudden, they're kicking you out because what?
Yeah.
Because you're like, hey, that was your fault.
You didn't do anything at all. At all.
You just want us to pay for the damages we caused, don't you?
That is mind blowing. Oh my gosh. I was honestly shocked and mad about this, and I immediately went in the house to question my parents about this. My mom said that she was tired of letting someone so ungrateful live in her house. My dad just repeated what my mom said, but in a kinder way, because I guess he thought she was being harsh. I couldn't believe it. I asked her to explain how I am being ungrateful, and she responded by basically saying, "We raised you." And how does that mean you're ungrateful for being raised?
Yeah, you raised me to be someone who keeps others accountable.
Yeah, we went back and forth for a bit and we were both pretty mad at each other. Then my mom told me to leave the house or else she would call the police on me. What is going on? This is crazy.
Where's dad for like any of this? Like, come on.
He's there. He's just like the mom is just like, "I'm gonna call the police on you," and then the dad's like, "I'm gonna call the police on you."
He's like, I know
That's
that.
what's going on.
I know I'm the one who caused all of this,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to say anything because I'm also scared of your mother.
Right. I have no idea if anything actually would have came to that situation, but at that point I was so confused and angry that I just went outside and called around to find someone I was able to stay with. I ended up sleeping at a friend's house. It's been a couple of days now and siblings have both been calling me. I guess my parents must have told them what happened. I'm assuming it was specifically my mom bad talking me to them. My sister agrees with my mom and says I should have paid them back the money. My brother agrees that it was unfair for them to punt me out, but also says that I should have just paid the money back. My dad has also been trying to reach me, but honestly, I've just been too mad to pick up the phone for him. I'm just so shocked by this whole situation. I wouldn't say me and my parents' relationship has always been easy street, but it's never been this bad. I honestly thought we were good until all this. The worst part is I was planning to move out and rent an apartment with a friend once their lease was up in 2 months. My parents knew that and still decided to do this. I'm just so confused and I don't understand where they're coming from. I get that they raised me and took care of me and all that, but I just feel like that doesn't give them the right to do this all of a sudden. I don't think I did anything wrong. So honestly, am I the a-hole in this situation? And we have an update, but what's our answer? No, not the answer. And we do have this update. We're just gonna roll into it really, really fast. Okay.
Chapow.
Update number 2. Some things have happened since my last post.
Huzzah!
I calmed down a bit and decided to finally answer one of my dad's calls. He started talking about how afraid he was that I was never going to talk to them again.
You think?
Then he said that things weren't supposed to go that way and the other day and apologized for mom putting my stuff outside. Apparently the plan was to talk to me about it first, but he said that mom got caught up in her emotions. When I asked why he didn't step in, he said that it was because he didn't want to upset her anymore. I didn't really want to accept that excuse, but I took it so we could move
He
forward.
really was literally like, I'm sorry, I'm just really scared of your mom.
Yeah.
And I was amazed. I was getting out of it. Like, I had my get out of jail free card. She was focused on you. I was the one who crashed that car. I was astounded.
Yeah.
So I just decided to play my cards right.
Oh my gosh, dude. That was until I got another call from my brother. Mom's been absolutely crap talking me to him and my sister. Apparently, she kept comparing me to them and how good they're doing. Mind you, they're both older than me by several years. Then she went on a rant about how much harder it's been to raise me compared to them. At one point, he says that she even insinuated that I was a mistake, though he says to take that with a grain of salt as she didn't outright say it. My brother was uncomfortable with listening to her talk about me so harshly and he decided to call and tell me. By the way, I want to tell you that you can find full episodes with more stories just like this one on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, whatever your favorite podcast app is, and then search OK Story Time. That will always be there for us. There's a little bit more into the story. Should we keep going? Do you have anything to say, Riley?
Do it.
Okay, I'm feeling a mix of emotions about this right now. Part of me is still mad about the suddenly punting me out thing, but I'm mostly just sad about it all. Knowing that my mom is saying all this stuff behind my back only makes me think that she really means it. And whether she outright said it or not, hearing that she thinks I'm a mistake honestly crushed my soul. I don't understand why still, but I guess she has her reasons. I don't really want to talk to her again, but I do really want to know the truth of why she feels this way about me. I'm not sure about dad yet.
I'm not the type to cut people off, and having to do it to one person is already too much for me. I'm still staying with my friend as of now until I figure out what I'm doing. I guess I'll see how it goes from here. And that is the end of that story. Oh,
I don't know if my mom has like a emotional regulation disorder of some kind.
perhaps.
Or if it's maybe like misplaced, like maybe mom can't give dad the consequences of this because of, I don't know, maybe it's like, I don't want to admit that there's problems in my marriage. So instead I'm going to make it problems with my kid. I don't know.
It's just not a very mature thing to do on all fronts except for OPs. Like really OP didn't do anything at all.
No, nothing. And it's, you know, the human brain is a mysterious monster. And
you're so right about
there's
that.
so many different reasons that the mom could have been acting like that. However, none of it was right. All right?
Yeah, none of it was right.
We
but
raised you. I'm pretty sure that's what you're supposed to do when you have a kid.
yeah.
My great aunt treated me poorly for years. I refused to interact with her ever again.
Not such a great aunt after all.
All right, so I, 23 female, hardly interact with my great aunt on my mother's side. We'll call her A. A is married to my grandmother's brother, making her my great aunt. This is important. By the way, this comes from It's Me Woman Calm Down. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. This woman has always had it out for me. She's very two-faced. First, I'll give some backstory on our relationship when I realized she had it out for me, and then the last straw that made me cut her out almost completely. When I was in elementary school, I never really noticed how A didn't like me. I noticed she favored my little sister, but it never bothered me much. A was a bus driver for many years, and sometimes she would let me ride her bus to school while my parents had work. Both are registered nurses at a hospital, dad working nights, mom working days. She even let me and my family live with her for a short time until we could get back on our feet. Now that I look back, I think it was because of my great uncle, her husband, we'll call you. I get that I had a bit of a behavioral issue due to ADD and some other things, but that's another story. I could have a temper and had a hard time regulating some of my emotions. But here's the thing, when my sister would hurt me or do anything, I would be the one in trouble. No matter what or who started it, I was always the troublemaker and the heathen. Heathen's such like a very specific
Troublemaker and the heathen.
such a specific like insult.
Your mom, I mean, is your great aunt like a Puritan or something?
I don't know. She would also fat shame me.
Yikes.
I was underweight for my height and age at the time, saying that I shouldn't eat too much. She would give me, an 8-year-old, the same portion as my 3-year-old sister. If you don't stop eating like that, you'll be fat like me and your mom, she'd say. My mom was still trying to lose the baby weight, and A would just obese at the time. Okay, so you're right. She's not eating properly,
Yeah.
but she's calling her fat. So she's playing mind games with her. This stuck with me, and throughout middle school, I would starve myself for a week and a half at a time.
Yeah, she literally gave her an eating disorder because she was unhappy with how she looked. And so she put that on a 8-year-old.
Oh,
That's terrible.
this has messed up my stomach in many ways to this day. Oh, it's got lasting effects. That's fantastic. I realized she had it out for me when I felt very ill. I was diagnosed with a rarer form of SLE, which is lupus, and many other things that came with it. I was so ill that I was on my way to a permanent sleep. I went through 2 years of chemotherapy, infusions, and taking 26 plus pills a day to survive.
Oh my God.
I'm going on to my 8th year of no chemo. Yay me. Oh my God. OP.
Yeah, I mean, congratulations for
You've been
getting
through a
that.
lot.
But yeah, wow.
Like you got put through something that nobody should be put
Yeah.
through, much less like a child.
Truly.
On top of this, I had a lot of mental health issues and trauma. That's a big story for another day. Like, I mean, of course.
Yeah.
You're not going to go through this without that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I was going through this right before my 2nd year of chemo. My grandfather, my best friend in the world, had passed away.
Oh my
She's taken L upon
my
L.
OP, you're going through so much, man. Jeez.
I found out everything my aunt had been saying about me. She was telling people my parents were exaggerating about my illness and that it wasn't that serious because she had a friend with lupus. Well, my mother talked to this friend, and it turns out that woman didn't have the same kind of lupus I had, or even the same severity. This woman wasn't even diagnosed or showing signs until later in life, while I was diagnosed around 12 or 13, showing signs much earlier, which at the time was very rare for my age bracket. A was telling my mother's brother all of these lies. I found out the day of my grandfather's funeral viewing, all because I couldn't hold it in anymore, and I snapped. I sobbed for my best friend to come back to me or for him to take me with him.
Oh.
Most of the people had left, and my cousins convinced me to at least visit the casket before we closed it for the burial the next day. I wish I never did. My uncle said, now she just wants even more attention than she's already getting.
Oh my God, shut up.
It's always about her. And now that I recall, I think he said something to me before the funeral about it being about my grandfather and not me. But the whole time was a blur because I was distraught. I've been to tons of funerals, but my grandfather's was the most painful and life-changing loss. That's when my mother lost it, and he spilled everything A has been saying about me and my family. She wasn't only saying that, but that I was milking it for attention, that I would be a teen mom. Joke's on her. I did not have the horizontal spicy time until I was married. And now I'm divorced. Another long trauma-inducing story. Oh, P, are you okay?
OP can't catch a break.
Oh, no.
So
I want to give Opie a hug.
Literally, this is so sad.
She even convinced my little sister's teacher to lie to the doctors so that my sister wouldn't be put on ADHD meds because she would end up on a bunch of pills like
Freaking
me.
fire that teacher, man.
She
That's
did,
a
and it
terrible
said
teacher.
a lot.
That's a terrible teacher.
I feel like that's illegal to
It
do.
is illegal.
That's like a violation of trust. Like I know teachers are mandated reporters.
Yeah. So what are you doing, teacher?
That you should get your license revoked for that.
Absolutely.
Like that's not
Not be
your
teaching
place.
children.
Now, to why I am finally low to no contact. My great-grandfather, on my mom's side, the father of my grandfather and you, great uncle who is married to A, passed away a few years ago. My mother was his main caretaker and even took a casual job at the hospital to work with the in-home nursing aid company to take care of him. A month or less before he passed, there was a lot of money in his account. In his will, he stated that every grandkid and great-grandkid was to get a portion of this money. There was enough in his account for each of us to have $15,000. Mind you, there are 10 or 11 of us. When he passed away, they went to check the accounts once the will was gone through, and all of the money was gone.
No. How did anyone have access to that? Like, I would immediately be like, who had access to this?
Yeah,
I'm assuming it's a freaking aunt.
They should have like transaction records
Yeah.
of
That's
who
crazy.
accessed and when, so it should be fairly easy to trace.
Oh,
at that point.
That's crazy. Oh my God.
The only person who had access to that account was you, and you wouldn't have just taken the money unless A pushed. But my mom and I were thinking that A forged his signature and took the money. And here's why we think so.
I buy it.
They magically had all this money. A went across the country and was on vacation for several weeks without you. She's a retired bus driver, and you is a master plumber who, at the time, had just opened his new business. She magically had the money to buy tickets for her little family to go on a cruise and even bought Taylor Swift tickets for her kids and their friends.
Damn.
These are only a few things. I honestly wouldn't have cared about the money, but I could have used that money to save myself. I was in a harmful marriage, living in my car, and on the run for him for 3 months, and had to pay for the divorce by myself.
Oh
OP,
OP.
please tell me that you're okay. Please tell me that you're
I want you to have a
safe.
win. I want you to have a win so bad. Please.
Yeah, that money could have kept you safe.
Yeah.
I was in college and my husband at the time wouldn't let me get a job. I have a stress disorder, so I couldn't have a job and work at the same time as classes. You have a stress disorder? I wonder who.
Yeah, I wonder why.
I wonder who maybe started
Yeah,
that,
Jesus.
and maybe
A whole freaking
Like,
stressful life.
I'm surprised that like it's not worse for
I
OP.
know.
My mom could have used the money when our family farm needed repairs and when my mom was out of work for a couple months due to blood clots in her lungs, and she could hardly breathe because of that and her asthma. A did not offer a lick of help. Didn't even buy my brother a Christmas gift, but bought my sister all kinds of stuff. She also makes fun of and trash talks my mom and other family members and friends. But you know what? We'll never trash talk on you for listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your other favorite podcast platform and just search OK Storytime. Don't worry. We'll never do these kinds of things to you.
No. Oh my goodness. OP needs, block this woman out. Get her out of your life. Cut her off. No contact. She's
Yeah.
a demon. She's a demon.
Like at this point, do you like go after her like
I think
legally
you could
and
absolutely
criminally?
sue her. Yeah,
You
for
could.
taking the money.
If you could prove it, you could. But like at this point,
Proving it would be hard.
do you think that OP has like the energy
The mental
and like
energy, yeah,
fortitude
probably
to
not.
do it at this point?
I mean, also OP was like saying that they were on the run from like a bad relationship. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm certain they didn't have the time when it was.
No.
They actively were thinking.
but
about
it's
it.
like OP should absolutely do that. But like, what's the guarantee they'll even get any of that money back, even if it like,
Yeah, and you have to spend a lot on legal fees and stuff. And
like how much
yeah.
in the end are you going to get?
Yeah, tricky.
All right, there's a relevant update. Let's get into it. Then A and U got mad because I left a birthday party for my cousin's baby without telling them goodbye. Even though I told the people around me I had blisters in my throat and wasn't feeling good, I told everyone nearby goodbye, but I just didn't go out of my way to find them. Now, recently, I haven't spoken to A since maybe the summer, and I refused to go to their Christmas Eve party. So, am I the a-hole for not wanting to interact with her anymore?
No.
I don't think that.
No.
I think you know.
Leave.
I think you know.
Get her out
Just
of your life, please.
cut off the contact.
Cut off contact.
You don't need that on top of everything else
No, you're
that
going
you're going
through
with.
enough.
Comments. Definitely not the a-hole. The childhood trauma alone would have been good enough to go no contact, let alone all the stuff that happened when you were older. OP replied, I thought so, but some of my family is telling me I need to forgive some people
No.
and let go.
No.
They told me I am forgiving the wrong people and holding the wrong grudges. Okay, that's not up to them to say. Like, they
Yeah,
didn't
nope.
go through it. I understand, like, the logic behind forgive and forget, but that doesn't always apply.
Not when she as actively
No.
hurting you.
Not when she had to go through chemo with lupus and she was spreading rumors that the
You were
lupus
all
wasn't
making
that
it up,
bad.
yeah.
Now you're making it up for attention. Also try to get OP's sister to not get the proper medication.
Also probably
and
stole your
stole
money.
the money.
Yeah. Nope. Don't forgive her.
No,
Cut her
that's-
out of your life.
That's beyond forgiveness. At that point, the forgiveness is I'm not calling the police on you and
Yeah.
opening an investigation.
Yeah, she could, because Opie, you could do that. But that is the end of that story.
We love you, and we'll see you tomorrow.